DeMar DeRozan dropped 26. Ooh, oh my God, holy shit, shit. But like, this man drops like 50 with like amazing efficiency. I don't hear shit about that. So like, yeah. Now I low key agree with y'all now. So that's not really I want to say about that.
I got two things. One, we was talking about that earlier and how me and Eli felt as if, and honestly, I think this is just an objective fact that KD was getting more recognition for what he did than what Giannis did. Especially relative to how much people were slandering Giannis and saying that he couldn't do what he did in that final, specifically those last 4 games,
Literally.
how he stepped up his game. People were literally saying that he couldn't do it. He went out and did it, and people were just like, "Oh, okay, cool."
And that's
still better.
They kept shitting on him, bro.
That's why I don't get very mad at I know there's a lot of niggas on her side of Twitter that whenever they see Giannis better than KG shit, they get all mad about it because what the fuck, bro. But obviously when there's a side of when there's a whole side of the sports world that doesn't recognize someone that is indifferent to someone, there's going to be a whole other side that in turn hyper insinuates just how good he is, and it's a natural reaction. Yeah, bro, Milwaukee fans are fucking sick of Giannis not being talked about. So them niggas gonna go in this app and they gonna say crazy shit like, "Is this the GOAT peak?" Imagine if they're the same way that there's niggas that ESPN hires and they talk to them niggas and they be like, "Hey man, you gonna be the pro Bron nigga," because there's no way y'all think them niggas just love LeBron that much. It's always a pro LeBron nigga on every show.
I agree.
They can talk to a nigga and be like, "Hey, bro, you gonna be the pro Giannis nigga? Say crazy shit about Giannis." It's that easy. It's really that easy, bro.
And here's another thing, bro. Jokic the other night, it was early in the month, and I even tweeted about it. Against a Raptors team, it was in the middle of an 8-game winning streak, had 25, 15, and 6, shot 62% from the field, had a game-winning block, and I promise you, nobody posted about it. I was like, let me stop and let me look at everybody. Like, I'm trying to figure out anybody. No one posted about it, and so to even go back to what Eli just said, I don't know why that doesn't exist. Because if like theoretically speaking, like Giannis is 27, like that he's going to be relevant for the next 5 to 7 years. Why is there not anybody on any of the networks? And again, I don't want there to be, but if we're gonna keep it consistent, why isn't there anybody on any of these networks who just say outrageous and landish shit? And so I agree with you. Half of what happens on Twitter and a lot of these fucking Twitter spaces that we have, and this is part of the reason why, even to a degree with the whole Nick Wright situation, where Nick Wright, he fucking freaks out because every single time somebody says something about Jokic, it has to be to an extreme. But the reason why people feel like they have to say something extreme about Jokic or Giannis or Embiid or Pascal Siakam or whoever the foreign player may be at the moment, the reason why they feel like they have to say something extreme is because they just got done watching you not talk about that player for like 5 months now. And so we just sit here and we see them niggas say some outrageous shit about LeBron. So to even it out, that's why people come on this app and on these spaces or in comment sections or on videos and they make these outrageous claims and try to do the exact same thing that they see on ESPN because they don't see it enough being represented. And it's just this fucking cycle of, I'm trying to top the shit you're saying because you're not actually covering this player, and now I need to give this player more push than he's actually receiving. But again, I genuinely don't know. There's a 27-year-old man in the NBA right now who is on pace to be he legitimately has a case to be a top 15 to 10 player in NBA history. There has never, ever, ever been a player on that trajectory at this age who does not get talked about the same way that LeBron was getting talked about, that fucking Kobe was getting talked about, and again, even to a lesser degree, that Harden was getting talked about, bro. That does not exist. It just don't.
I think it's
facts, bro.
Performing at a high
But
level, so they can't really
piggyback
crown him.
to piggyback on what Lowe said, like I think it's just this simple, right? I think most people in here can agree that right now Jokic is having a better offensive season than Harden, right? Than Harden was in those stretches, right? And if you don't agree,
Whoa.
then like whatever. At least at that level,
This is a
right?
hardened fucking stand telling you this. So if you
Like
saying whoa, you're dick sucking.
like at that level, right? Like he definitely at the very
What?
least is at that level. So the fact that like we going from is Harden a top 5 offensive player ever? Is Harden the greatest scorer since Michael Jordan to man, is Jokic even better than Chris Paul? Like you see what we doing here? Like we can't just act as if there ain't a problem with that.
And I was in Ash. I was going to say the exact same. I was about to say it. I was like, bro, why isn't no one saying is Jokic in the midst of being one of the greatest offensive players of all time? I'll go on Twitter and I'll say, bro, Jokic is one of the greatest passers. Fuck big men passers. He's one of the best passers of all time. You know, there's niggas who will pause and be like, whoa, what do you mean by that? And it's like, we shouldn't even be having that conversation. But people were having it because nobody else. I'm telling you, because I hear people on this app and on other apps and in comment sections, casual fans regurgitate the same shit that they see from Skip Bayless, Nick Wright, Stephen A. Smith. They regurgitate the same talking points from them. So if they sit here and they see them not big up the players that should be bigged up, bro, they're not going to understand when somebody jumps out the window. And I don't even think it's really jumping out the window, but has a crazy hot take. Also, I have a tweet right now. Who's your MVP right now? Joel Embiid is winning. The second person who's winning is Other. And the other two is Nikola Jokic and Giannis. Other is winning over Jokic and Giannis right now, bro.
The crazy
Hey,
part is
I
Joel.
think other. They probably
For
think
the
it's DeRozan.
Wait, real quick. Doesn't that speak more to your fan base than that does to anybody else? I mean, I'm just saying.
Hey yo, let's talk about it.
Niggas, hop off my
Legend
feet,
of
That
dog.
fraud.
Hop off my
Legend
feet.
of
Hey,
xenophobia.
hey,
fraud.
hey, bro.
Legend of
Mm.
xenophobia.
Hey, so what you just said. So with
Nigga
Giannis
attract the
being
wrong
the
crowd.
most decorated player at his age on a trajectory that we've never seen before, why? Like, what? I'm asking you, like, why do you think that there's like other players, like usually American, that are getting more coverage? Like, why do you think, for real?
I can't. I keep wanting to try to fight it, but bro, at first I was hard. Like I said before, I was hard on the maybe it's just small market because I thought man, you know, it may be just small market. Like, I actually have a video talking about this shit about Giannis last year about how I was watching one of them shows on fucking Fox and they were just coming up with some of the worst arguments to
For why
why.
he couldn't be the face of the
Yeah,
league?
it
Because
was
we don't know
horrible.
his mom's name.
Yeah,
Instagram
it
followers.
was, or he
Facts.
didn't have as many Instagram followers as Chris Paul. Like, it was really bad arguments. But then a part of me was like, I'm willing to just accept the small market argument. I was willing to do it. But to see how they talk about Ja is just I don't know. Like, it's hard for me not to say that it can't be just xenophobic. It's hard for me not to say that now.
But doesn't the xenophobia thing go away when they talk about Luca? Like they were so quick to crown him even in
But
his rookie year.
but when in Luca right now is in the middle of like a 30-point triple double stretch, especially since they fucking got rid of Porzingis. That nigga's right now, he's balling out of his fucking mind in the
He's
last
been
10
playing
games.
like he's been playing like the best player in the world the last
Yeah,
like
they didn't talk about that
Yeah,
game where he had like 30 in the first quarter,
Oh
like
yeah,
at all.
against
yeah,
the
but his
Clippers.
buzz died
Yeah,
down
he
when he started
murdered
the
them
season
bum ass
really
niggas.
bad. So then
No.
his buzz
Well,
went down.
his buzz definitely went down for sure. But in these last 10 games, you would have thought that fucking DeMar DeRozan was playing better than him. The way that they're specifically talking about DeMar in these last 10 games, and
Hold
he's
up.
not. He's not. He's
y'all
not
see
playing
what
better
I
than
just
DeMar.
sent to the space, right? That's a 15-game stretch for Luca.
Hey,
30,
so
33,
Zion
10,
We
Zion coming
can't
out of
see anything by the way,
Zion
Eli.
coming
Oh
out of
damn, for
Duke.
real? Let me
Zion
send it
coming out
again.
of Duke. He had more buzz than like Giannis, Jokic, and Embiid. Like right now, like agree or disagree.
Fair, fair.
But I
Because he
argue
was a
on that
brand new
point.
thing.
This is a college thing. It's the college thing more than anything. It's a new prospect coming out. I will argue that more
But do
than
you
like the
see?
xenophobic thing.
Do you see how they're not talking about Zion no more though?
Yeah, so I'm just talking about like strictly like Zion coming into the league, like nigga first touchdown in New Orleans, like he got more buzz than Giannis and Embiid, and Jokic, like throughout their whole career, like yeah,
You know
yeah,
I
that's
mean,
that's
he
all.
was the number one
and
pick.
that's fair, and I think that has to go with the NBA propping up certain players in this direction, which they've always done. But like I said before, you see how they're not talking about him no more right now, and
Yeah,
and from when I was growing up, that's how they used to do it. It was, hey, look at this new thing up in Toronto, who's the next MJ named Vince Carter. As soon as Vince Carter did not reach that standard, they didn't drag on and on. Let's keep talking about Vince. Oh, and he's in New Jersey now. Let's keep talking about. They didn't do that. It was, oh, you didn't meet those standards? Okay, Wade. Okay, LeBron. Like they just went on to the next name. They didn't wait till fucking VC figured it out. So that's what I'm used to. I'm used to them just, we're going to give you the opportunity. If you don't do it, we'll just go to somebody else. So the same way they're doing with Zion, hey, you not playing, you out of shape, fuck it. We'll just go to Ja. And
so
I'm
basically
fine with that.
like
I'm fine with that.
pop culture, just moving on to the hottest thing, right?
hmm
So like you don't think like y'all don't think at all like that like money don't got nothing to do with that.
But again, it's you. Well, I understand what you're saying, but it wouldn't make any sense for them to roll the dice on Ja Morant somehow propelling a higher status than Giannis. Like, because if we're being honest with ourselves, especially if Denver gets healthy, bro, Denver, Milwaukee, and Philly are on trajectory in the next 5 years to just be more relevant teams than Memphis. They are on the path to be teams that will make it deeper in the playoffs in Memphis. It would not make any sense for them to push all that money to a small market team that's probably going to be maxed out as a first, second round exit for the next 5 years. It just don't. It literally don't make any sense for them to do that.
I get it. So you mean because he played for the Grizzlies, you don't really see how that's like marketable?
Well, is that in? There's not going to be enough postseason runs. Like it makes sense. Hey, we're about to start, and they did it with Curry. They did it with Curry as well. They were like, hey, we were talking about the other player, but Curry came on the scene. Fuck it, we done with that Lob City shit. We about to start talking about the Warriors. So they've done it before, and the reason why it made sense. Hey, the Warriors, they made it to the finals. Now we're talking about them, and then they're going to keep going to the finals. They did the same thing with LeBron. We know for a fact LeBron is going to consistently make deep postseason runs. So we're going to keep talking about him. There's no rhyme or reason for them to there's no rhyme or reason for them to roll the dice on a player like Ja in Memphis. And there's no clear understanding of who he's going to be. It's the same thing with like Trae Young. There would be no reason at all for them to roll the dice on Trae Young, and they don't know what the fuck that team is going to look like in the next year or two when there's a clear path of what Milwaukee and Philly looks like in the East. It wouldn't make any sense.
But don't they just put the money into players and personalities, not really into the teams? Like people leave teams so quickly nowadays. It's just about the players. So
But
I think
why? But
I
why
wait,
not? But
Low. I
why
think I
not
got a
put the?
perfect example. I got a
But
perfect
why? But
example
why
for you,
not put
Low.
the money into Giannis and Embiid though? That's
Low, I
kind of the
got a
question.
Low. I got a perfect example for you. Why are the Pelicans and the Knicks getting more national TV games than the Nuggets right now?
Crazy.
Why were they slated to have more national TV games? Like that's exactly what Lowe's talking about. They're putting all their stock and all their money into the potential is that like we didn't even know if Zion was going to be playing. Like we didn't even know that. Meanwhile, we got the reigning MVP not playing on Christmas. So that we can see Julius Randle play basketball. Like you know what I'm talking about? Like what are we doing here with this?
See that nigga
but
stinking up.
there's
I think
like,
he actually
do you
played good
think
that
like
day, but I
do you
don't
think
remember.
most NBA fans are casuals or like
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
exactly? So
yeah,
that
probably.
Really?
exactly. So they're gonna want to see Zion. They want to see Ja. They want to see guys that they can understand. Like
But
when
why do
people
they
say
understand them though? That's what we kind of
it's
get
easy
into.
to understand like 40-inch vertical and dunks. You know what I mean? Like every like when you ask someone like why is Jokic having the best offensive season, they always use advanced stats. Versus if you look at Westbrook, it's 30 points, 10 assists. Like everyone's gonna get that. Every casual fan's gonna understand that. So like that's
26,
why they push them.
13, 7. What's
But
hard to
Ja,
understand about
wait,
I'm
that?
saying like we
well,
acting like
What's
Jokic
hard
out
to
here putting
whoa,
up
understand
thirty
about
whoa,
double.
whoa,
that,
but
nigga?
but let's
Yeah,
let's
but
do it. Let's take it.
that plus play style.
Well, let's take it to another step. I don't think Harden's play was all that entertaining for majority of time in Houston, and they still promoted that nigga.
Ratio.
That's 36 points per
Ratio.
game.
Man, I'm a
Bad
Harden hater, and
agenda.
he's
Bad
dropping
That's
agenda
60.
crazy,
pushing.
bruh.
Bad
I'm
Yeah, that's
agenda.
fucking
wild.
That's
That's
crazy.
No,
personal
I,
Bad
preference,
but
man.
agenda.
It's
if
A
bad.
lot of people
Nah,
don't like
nah. What we
watching him
not
play.
gonna do? What we not gonna do in here is talk about James Harden in a
Listen,
negative
listen,
aspect.
listen.
Not in my space.
Listen,
Not in
whoa,
my space.
No troll though. No troll. Even all trolling aside though, you get what he's saying, bro. The nigga
Yeah, no, I get
exactly.
what he's saying. I
to
get
a
what he's
lot of
saying.
people, the nigga dribbling the ball for fucking 12 seconds.
Okay, that's
You
No,
Yeah,
no,
know,
yeah,
but
that's
crazy.
just how he's perceived. Come on.
I
if
enjoyed
his
it.
argument was it's a lot of jumping and dunking and 40-inch verts, and that's fine. James Harden didn't fulfill that role. If you want to say it's a bunch of scoring, I would argue Giannis is about to average 30. Sure, it's not 36, but he's about to average 30.
30 on 30 minutes.
Like I understand what y'all saying, but it's like it's not that. It's just I don't think it's I don't think it's just that complicated at all.
I'm not gonna lie. How the fuck is Embiid better than Giannis, bro? That shit don't make no sense to me. Never mind. I'm gonna be
Hey,
quiet.
how about you read the room, bozo?
How
Nigga,
about
did
you
you
suck
wait?
my
Did
dick?
you and you? I'm still update on the fucking poll. Over 2,000 people now, and other is still beating Jokic and Giannis.
Yeah, this the fuck.
Other having a
I,
crazy season though. It's crazy.
Is it beating them more than like if you okay? So if you combine Jokic and Giannis, what's the
You
total?
know, what's so crazy? If you combine Jokic and Giannis is almost the same as
It's
other
30.
nigga.
It's 36. That's basic. And other is 25, bro. The gap is that fucking small, bro.
That's crazy.
I feel like a lot of people not even taking that poll serious for real though. It's probably a lot of LeBron and Curry fans.
A
Nah.
lot of DeMar DeRozan
And
truthers.
but
A
here,
lot of, a
here,
lot of
here
LeBron
I
And
fans
a
can,
and
lot of
Curry
Steph
fans.
fans too.
I can do y'all one better. Even when you go to the undisputed page on YouTube, they didn't even make Jokic an option to vote on.
That's crazy.
Okay, that was
What
wild.
did they
Like
make
that's
options?
wild.
They made options. Let me get to it. Let me go to the vote. I think I liked it not too long ago. Hold
Oh,
on.
so you're promoting it, low?
I think it's on HV's account. Is that?
Yeah, no, so yeah, it is. It's on HV account. Who venue? Let me get his nigga. So like shit like that is like I can't, bro. They don't even make them niggas options for the casual fan to be informed. Here, what it was. February 17th. Who's the best player in the NBA? LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Jokic. Embiid and Giannis. So they're still forcing the fucking LeBron KD idea. They're still forcing it.
And earlier, someone brought up like the casual thing, like that's just how NBA fans are, like it's casual. Well, part of that is because these big markets like Stephen A. Smith, Nick Wright, guys who know that they're going to be attracting a lot of casual viewers because people don't watch games that much. They're going to go to those talk shows because they assume that those guys watch games. They're going to take the things that they're saying and the narratives that they're pushing and ride with them. You see it all the time. Just go talk to your random friends who don't watch the NBA like that, and you'll see them regurgitate these takes. It's that simple. It starts at that level, at the ESPN level that somebody else was saying, and that's where the xenophobia is starting to get trickled down into every single aspect of basketball.
Do y'all think that they catering to a specific
Say
community?
something?
They might be, but I mean, I don't know. I just think that it's I don't know. I don't know if it's easier to just sell an idea to Americans about an American player. I don't really know. There's just things that are just odd about it. And I try not to jump to those conclusions, but it's hard for me not to,
But
bro.
Lo, I hate that narrative. How do we know that it's easier to push American
Oh, well,
players in the
I don't know.
American system?
We don't know. It's like either I do that, either I come to that conclusion, or I would have to look at something like I would like I'm basically what I'm saying is I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt of it not being xenophobic. But every single time it's like it's hard for me not to go in that direction. Like literally every single time.
Oh, and number 4, the DeMar profile pic, you can speak because you wanted to say something.
Oh, I was just gonna ask, who's your top 5 MVP right now? Like besides all the Jokic talk and Giannis and all that, I know they deserve and stuff like that. But like right now, what would you consider top 5 besides all like the memes, the polls and
Ash.
stuff?
Should I step in?
No. Let me say this. I think, well, regardless of who is top 5, I think that's. I know what you're like. I know what you're trying to get to, right? But maybe I don't. But I just don't even think it matters. Like, we shouldn't even be talking about top 5 because the top 3 are so clear of everyone else. So the fact that we're even having a top 5 convo in general, like, that is disingenuous to how good Giannis and Embiid and Jokic have been. Like, I get that you want to, like, bring more players in, but who cares, bro? Like, they should need, like, those 4 and 5, they literally should not be in the conversation. Like, the 4 and the 5 are just there for, like, maybe all 3 of them, like, tear their ACLs or some shit. God forbid that. But, like, they all get hurt or all get COVID and just can't play anymore. You know, like, that's what it would have to take for them to win an MVP. And that's just unrealistic. So I just don't even care, to keep it a buck with you. I truly don't care.
I'll answer the question though. It's
Yeah,
fucking Embiid, and then it's probably Jokic and Giannis, or it can flip with between them 3. If I had to give a 4th, I think there's a gap, but if I had to give a 4th, I might go Ja, and then
I feel like
CP
it still has to be Curry.
CP3 not gonna make it now because that
It
nigga's.
still has to be Curry to some extent.
And then I was gonna say then Curry. I was gonna say Curry.
You wouldn't put
I
DeMar
had to
over
see that
Ja
shit on.
and Curry?
I know that this isn't the vibe of the room, but I had to see that shit on my on my timeline. So do you niggas. I'm not gonna lie. Also, Ash, do you want to rotate? There's a couple of niggas that want to.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm still leaning towards Curry over DeMar, and I'm be honest with you. I'm still leaning that.
Yeah, that's fine. But Zach, what do you want to say real quick?
I am a little biased as a Bucks fan, but I just can't see a world where I know Embiid carried the Sixers with Ben Simmons deficit on their roster, but I just can't see Embiid over Giannis when Giannis is averaging less minutes and either the same stats or better stats as a leader in DPOY voting. I just can't see that. I can kind of see the Jokic talk, and like Embiid definitely is top 3. It's those 3 for sure, but you can't convince me that Embiid has it over Giannis or Jokic when Giannis is just playing better basketball than Embiid in every category.
Embiid's
I'm not
clear.
mad. The point, what the real point I'm just trying to make is that it's them 3, and then the other 2 I really don't care too much about because that's how wide the gap is between everybody else.
So yeah, for sure, it's definitely a 3-man race, and no one else is catching up.
And the fact that media cycles are making it, or media members are making it like it's a 5 or 4-man race is just, it's disgusting because it's just not. It's not even close.
Kate, you want to go? Because you had your hand up the longest.
Okay, yeah. Obviously, if you can hear from my accent, I'm from London, and I've been watching the NBA since 2016. So I've seen Giannis grow, I've seen Embiid grow, I've seen Jokic grow, and I don't want to make it too much about football, like soccer. But the reason why the NBA isn't big as much as it could be, like it's growing every year. Like over here, it's getting a lot popular every year. But the reason why it doesn't get bigger than it is because they don't push foreign stars. Like the Premier League is in England, and all the marketing is about who's the best. It doesn't matter what country you come from. And you'll talk about the John Morant. I think John Morant's a good player. I think that he will win an MVP because he's a highlight player. Jokic is one of my favorite players, top 5 of my favorite players, but he doesn't have the highlights. He's not going to get you on Bleacher Report and things like that. I think either Embiid or Jokic are MVP right now, but I do believe the NBA is xenophobic because it's more about just protecting their own. You know what I mean? I don't feel I don't want to call it like American culture thing, but it's like I don't think there'll be a place where the NBA is just pushed by the foreigners. You know what I mean? That's how I see it. They need to change that aspect if they want to overtake the NFL or ever get like towards the Premier League. The Premier League is the biggest sport league in the world, and it's full of foreigners. So that's why that's what they got to change. Just wanted to say that.
And there's still xenophobia within the Premier League, like big time, like
Yeah,
in
big time
soccer in general.
xenophobia. Yeah.
Yeah. Of
Yeah,
course. But it's
it's
not
a
it's not a
world.
thing where
It's
they wouldn't push an English player to the front and say, oh yeah, he's the best player in England, that because he's English. That
yeah,
does
I
not
know.
happen.
I'm just saying, like this is an issue within all of sports, bro,
No,
and
of course. I'm not
it's
saying
like,
it's just conducive to
for
the
sure,
NBA,
for
but
sure.
I'm just saying, like, if it's a star-driven league, then the best player, the biggest star, should be the best. I mean, should be pushed the most.
Yeah, I'm not saying that you're claiming that. I'm just making
Yeah,
sure that people know that, like, the goal is to like talk about it for everyone. Like
yeah,
the goal is to talk about xenophobia within sports in general, because the first step is recognizing there's a problem, in my
yeah.
opinion.
The thing is, like, obviously, ESPN. We don't have ESPN over in England, like, so I only get to see like Stephen A. Obviously, we ain't got Fox Sports, so I see it on YouTube. And like when I first was started to watch basketball, I would like watch those guys to get a better understanding. Like, how you guys were saying the casual fan. But obviously, if you was just to watch that, you just think that, yeah, it's LeBron only. Like, he gets pushed the most, and then you got a bit of KD in there. But the thing is, when I thought it was kind of changing, because when Luka, his first two years in the NBA, I thought, okay, cool, maybe the NBA is changing, and they were pushing him a lot to be like the next guy. But I think Lo said it earlier. It's like he didn't really hit the heights. Well, he didn't really like show out how we thought they were gonna show out. So he's kind of been pushed. He kind of been pushed back a little bit. So I don't know. It's not very consistent. But Ja Morant's definitely the next guy we'll see to be like the face of the NBA. I believe. I don't believe. As much as it is now, I don't believe there will be a foreign player that's going to be the face of the NBA. Like when like LeBron goes and Curry go and KD goes, like I'll be very surprised to see it. But that's if they want the NBA to be worldwide and global, then they have to be open to it.
It's gonna be Giannis next. I mean, like you brought up with Luca, we seen with Luca the same thing that was happening with Ja his rookie year. Like next year, Ja's not gonna be talked about the same way he's talked about now, especially if he like has the same level of season. He's not gonna be talked about the exact same way. Like we see it with Luca, we've seen it with other players. Like it's just hype right now. He's like the most entertaining player to talk about right now in terms of what he's doing. Like when
Hey,
Luca was hitting all them game winners, bro, he was talked about being compared to guys like Curry in his first and second year, being saying he's better than Kawhi his second year. Like this happens all the time with players of just if just different players are exciting to
But
watch.
you not so are you gonna talk about the fact that it was said about Luca, because he kind of like average, fucking 35, 36 in a playoff series against the guy that you're talking about, or are we just gonna like
I was
pretend
referencing like his
it,
first year,
his first year he didn't
like
get any
before.
of
I
those
was talking about
votes?
before the playoffs. Yeah, no, he definitely did. Like
On God, he didn't.
he was being compared to like top five guys because he was hitting a bunch of game winners, having
His
flashy
rookie
passes.
year, on God, he
Yes,
was.
he was.
I
hey,
swear,
real
word to
quick
my
before
mother, he wasn't.
It was like
real quick
second
before I
year.
pass this off
That's
to
crazy.
Ian, because I know he wants to talk. I know
It's his
Ian wants to
first and
talk.
second year that he was getting talked about like that.
You said earlier that
He was averaging
JaVale
28.
McGee was a bigger laughing stock than Rudy Gobert. Why do you feel the need to bring that up? I'm just asking you.
I had brought that up in reference to the point that I believe Eli said, someone said that about another player not going through the same thing when JaVale had it worse. Someone DM'd me the JaVale McGee thing, so I talked about it. But JaVale McGee definitely had like similar and, in my opinion, worse treatment. He was being called the second full
Well, he
MVP
was just fucking
for
ass.
like 6 years. No,
I
even when he
mean, that
wasn't
was, but
ass,
I feel as if
even
that
in
was
Golden State, he
And
was
toxic.
called
most
the
of
But
second
us,
yeah,
full
and
I
by
MVP.
feel
the
as
time,
if
and
if
Even
after
in
a
that's
Golden
couple
State,
years,
toxic.
niggas was calling Shaq an asshole. Like
that
after a
was after
couple
like
years.
Yeah,
six
like I feel
years.
as if
That was
that's
after like 6
toxic
years of doing that though.
masculinity is like spread because of TNT, and TNT isn't like exclusive to just not saying things that are very suspect to say the least.
But why is it xenophobic when it happens to Gobert? Why is that brought up as an example of xenophobia with Gobert? But when it happens to JaVale McGee for 6 years, now it's toxic masculinity. I don't
Well,
think that's a good
Or
because
example.
Dwight
But
Howard.
because
Dwight Howard got the same treatment too.
yeah,
I don't
because
think
it
it's
was
fair. I don't think it's fair to say, like, at least for the inside of the NBA and him being joked on national media as an example. Not saying that he doesn't face it, but that's a bad example in my opinion.
When did JaVale McGee or Dwight Howard indirectly get called pussies on national television?
Shaq gave him Dwight Howard a
It's not a.
shot today too. There's
The
talk
I
White
mean,
about
Howard
the
guy,
way
but
the
I
listen.
way
think
Well, listen.
Shaq
Those are
he
like
It's
dissed
not
him
a.
for
different
But
days.
what they're
Like
saying
situations,
though,
and like
some of it is questions about Dwight Howard's sexuality as well, though. And niggas are weird
that's
for that.
wild to do
But
on national
that's
TV.
that's homophobia. That's not. Those are two different things,
I
bro.
know, but there's
I know.
there's a
I know.
bunch
I
of
know. I know.
issues that
They're
have to be
trying to
addressed.
equate as if bullying all comes in the same shape and form when you can be bullying somebody for a multitude of reasons. For Rudy
Exactly.
Hey, yo,
Gobert, it can be
Like
xenophobia.
JaVale was getting bullied for stuff he was doing on the court. Like he would
as
make dumb decisions. Like those are two
judo
different things.
judo been trying to talk for a
So
little
what's Rudy
minute.
Gobert?
Yeah,
What's Rudy
I was
Rudy
Gobert?
just about to
Gobert's
say
getting what has Rudy Gobert done on the court that warrants bullying? Like I don't
Rudy's
understand what
getting
you're
I
clown.
saying.
want
Rudy's getting
judo and
clowned
What
jiu-jitsu
for
has
for
Dwight
for.
Howard
real.
done to warrant getting
Well,
bullied for on the court
Rudy
stuff?
is getting
For
clowned
Dwight Howard,
for.
it's literally just the fact that Dwight Howard copied like some of Shaq's shit, like the
That's not
Superman
even
shit, and
true.
Shaq's
That's not
petty.
it,
That's literally
bro.
it. And
That
also the
is true.
sexuality thing.
Wait.
Shaq
Shaq
literally
does
got
not
butthurt
like
that Dwight
Dwight
got
Howard.
But no,
took
Shaq
the
doesn't like
Superman
Dwight
role.
Howard, but like Rudy's getting clowned for fucking like it really started at least like onto the scale it is when he started crying for not getting the All Star incentive or like him not being a flashy or like highlight worthy guy, like shit like that. Like I mean, but still like to the point, it's like other guys have faced similar levels of scrutiny by national media.
Yeah, but
Other like
you
very
named
similar
two
levels.
players who got bullied by Shaq. Rudy Gobert isn't getting bullied by Shaq.
JaVale got bullied by everybody,
Yeah,
mainly Shaq, but he
because
was
of
getting
Shaq.
bullied by everybody.
Because Shaq's a prominent figure and he was the one promoting the bullying. Shaq isn't
Was
promoting
that
bullying
not
for Rudy
was
Gobert
that are they both not still getting bullied on national television? Because
for different
that's what the
reasons.
argument
For
was.
different reasons. For different reasons.
But the argument was no. I mean, okay.
No, I get
I,
what the argument was that like bullying someone on national TV like that can't just directly be xenophobia. But I'm saying in this instance it is.
can you name me the reasons why Rudy gets bullied? That
Be,
you would feel like are xenophobic.
the reasons why he gets bullied be like correlating to why it's xenophobic. Is that what
Yeah,
you're
like
saying?
tell me. Can you give me an example of him being bullied on national TV that you feel like is xenophobic?
I the example of like him crying, I guess. Like
That's not
I'm trying to confuse.
xenophobia.
That's not
I'm confused
xenophobic.
what you're trying to say. So you're saying that
Okay,
like
I'm asking you
Why
what
wouldn't that be
is xenophobic.
xenophobia with the context of his
Why is it
nationality?
That's
why is
that's
it
a
why
French
is it
stereotype that they're
xenophobic?
sensitive.
Well,
But he
if
cried on
anyone
TV.
cried,
He's not
if any
stereotype. He is
NBA
Yes,
player
sensitive.
but other people have
cried
cried on
about that,
TV and been like, for
but
example, when
that's the
Joel Embiid cried on
When
TV,
Joel
people were
Embiid
like,
cried,
"Wow,
let's
Everybody
he's
was
add the
really
laughing
good.
at
context.
Embiid. It
He's
made him
Let's add
to
the
dedicated.
meme.
context.
Wow."
that is factually incorrect. Everyone was not fucking laughing at Joel Embiid. Everyone went on TV and said that Joel Embiid was a real man and a real basketball player because he cried about something he was passionate about, and he's finally showing that he's no longer a kid and cares about the sport. But
Yeah, the
when someone
fans were
who's
clowning him.
French and has a stereotype of their men being emasculine, homosexual, and fucking sensitive, they cry, they get that label thrown on them, and their name also gets made fun of all the fucking time, which is
and he's been called
really weird.
sensitive like every day ever since then. He was getting made fun of 2 weeks ago for finally making it. I mean, not finally, but for making an All-Star team. People talking about, is he gonna cry this time? Like, what are we doing here with this?
Also, but yeah, Judo been trying to talk for a little bit. Let
Bro,
Judo talk.
but hold on, let me get this point up real quick.
Yep.
All right.
Bro,
After that, let
this
you
is
know.
my last point. But even to that point, like we gotta add context to that. Cause okay, but okay, thank you. All right, thank you. But no, like Joel was crying because of second round exit. Like people are gonna be more sympathetic to him crying about losing in the playoff series than somebody crying, not because they didn't make the All Star game, because they didn't get a bonus for making the All Star game as a starter. Because you remember he was an All Star that year too. He just came off the bench. He was mad because he didn't get the incentive about getting extra money, and also like I mean, Tennessee, other people. I'm using Tennessee as an example because we had this conversation about how like the NBA players are millionaires and shit like that. Like people are not going to be sympathetic to players, especially because they make so much money. So him crying about something because he's not going to make some extra money is going to get clowned on. Joel getting clowned about getting bounced in the second round off a ridiculous game winner is completely different. It has nothing to do with Rudy Gobert being French.
I'm about to bounce and finish my video. I don't know if anybody, like the people got their hands raised, they got a question for me in particular, but I'm about to bounce in a second.
All right, Judo, Gabe, all y'all, any of y'all wanted to say anything?
You also know, Trey, that he
Oh,
said his mom also called him
Yo,
crying.
Eli,
It
actually,
was a
shut
pretty
up. Thank you.
hey,
yeah.
well, I ain't gonna hold y'all. What's good, Eli? What's up with y'all? It's hilarious to hear y'all boys from the locker room all the way over here. But I think y'all a little bit wild with this. Is the NBA xenophobic thing? Like,
No, this
hey,
is
let's
Ty.
remember. Yeah, yes,
Yo,
sir.
Judo is Ty.
Yes,
I've been
sir.
interacting with this nigga for the longest, and it's fucking Ty.
For sure. For
Yo.
sure. But look, here's what I'm saying though. The NBA is a company. They're trying to make money. Period. The NBA has been trying to expand like globally because there is a ceiling on what they can do in the US as far as revenue wise. They need to expand globally, right? So there's mad evidence of like when the European stars are like that, they get pushed. They push Giannis, they push Luca, like the Embiid Gobert thing is weird because neither one of them are from America. So I'm not really sure why one would be xenophobic and the other wasn't. I think the main thing is weirdo for Rudy Gobert to be crying over not getting an individual accolade. It's like, all right, nigga, you weirdo. But like with Embiid, it's like we like when people overly care about sports. Like when De'Aaron Fox like was crying after losing NCAA game. Like we love that stuff. So there's that, number one. But like I think the lack of like constant push, right? It just comes from not winning. They haven't won yet. Like Jokic, when Jokic is like, it's unfortunate for him that shit went left and his people's been out and yada yada yada. But like at the end of the day, like he be going blow for blow with Dame. Like, and it's no disrespect to him, like, because he's obviously an MVP, obviously all of this, but to not have the box office that the casual fans like, and to not and to be playing in Denver, which historically we've seen Denver since the mid aughts put up 50-win seasons and national teams not care. Even when they had Melo, like it's like yeah, you had Melo, but nobody really was watching Denver like that. Like it is what it is. I just don't think. I think the xenophobic thing, like, it,
I think you missed. I
it's
think you missed too much of the conversation early because we kind of went through. We kind of debunked all of those things, and the reason why
so.
we're pushing that the reason why it's being questioned is because not necessarily because they're not being pushed. Because you're right, they are getting pushed to the point where essentially we're going to have three foreigners win MVPs in a row. Like Jokic, Giannis, and Embiid are going to win it all in a row. So there's definitely a pocket of the NBA community that respects them and pushes them, et cetera, et cetera. And Gobert winning 3 Defensive Player of the Year in a row, et cetera, et cetera. But I think where a lot of this is stemming from is the push for Ja Morant and DeRozan, like the alarming push. And so then when you make the argument of the market, Ja Morant is playing in Memphis.
So let's talk about that though. Let's talk about that right fast, right? So if when we're talking about Ja, right? I think there's not really a conversation when it comes to as far as young guys, superstar highlight, Bleacher Report, blah 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 blah, NBA Instagram. That's him. Like that's what he does. He manufactures those moments probably at a higher clip than just about anybody, like, or at least with the guys who really do that, with the Stephs and the Peak Bronze and Luca when he was first out and those guys. He does that, right? And like D Rose, all those guys. With DeRozan and the Bulls specifically, it's like the Bulls, everybody shat on them, right? B, he's got great stats on like the surface, the box score stuff now, and he's got good numbers in the clutch, and he's got memorable game-winning moments. And it's kind of like people like the Zag. So it's like, hey, everybody knows that the Bulls kind of, frankly, they're not real contenders. And DeMar DeRozan, he's cosplaying as a top 10 guy right now, but he's probably not that. As much as I'm a huge fan of DeMar DeRozan, it is what it is, right? So there's kind of this, like, there are mad factors that go into mad guys getting pushed, but I don't think it at least it doesn't make as much sense to me that the reason that those guys are getting pushed over, say, a Doncic, because I don't think they're getting pushed over Jokic necessarily. Like, I mean, I just
They
don't.
are. What?
Okay, so if you're saying they are, then let's help me understand as to who, right? So when we're saying they, who's pushing them? Like you're saying,
I,
on ESPN
yeah,
at this point, like,
on ESPN in particular, and I would say Fox as well. And
okay,
then even I think a huge portion of the fan base on Twitter and on Facebook. And I mean, fuck, even when I go to fucking even like even a smaller group of people like Clubhouse, like I talk to several different people about basketball, and I fucking just watch how stories are being told. And
word.
nah, bro, they're
So I
definitely
have a
not
question for you,
talking
right?
about them.
Bro, the
I
way
have a question.
Steven
Hold on, real
Jackson
quick, real
treats
quick.
Giannis and Jokic is
Hold on,
bro.
real quick. All right, so we can get to that in a second. But low, right fast. So you're a content creator. You work in media, right? So when you're putting out content, right? You look at how the reaction, the engagement, the numbers, KPIs, whatever, and that influences what content you put out, right? It's the nature of having to stay alive and function in a capitalist society that will let you go homeless if you're in your right. So like you doing that on that scale, I work in media advertising. It's not necessarily the exact same thing, but to say that they are responding to their stimuli. They're responding to who's watching because ESPN, all the cable networks are doing whatever they can. They're fighting, you know what I'm saying? They're fighting Father Time. They're fighting the DSPs. They don't have time for like picking and choosing. They're doing weirdo shit. Like, remember when they, like, at the beginning of last year, made Steph 8? But they didn't do it because they really thought Steph was. ESPN didn't make it because they thought Steph was the 8th best player. It was clear. It's clickbait. They have to
Yeah.
resort to clickbait, right? These niggas are scrambling. Like, it's all for the money. That's why
So why
they
take a
fake
chance on
reprimanded
Ja?
more.
No.
Hold on, real quick.
I
They
mean,
fake
I'll answer to you
reprimanded more.
directly. I'll do
All right, go
it,
ahead.
but that still doesn't make any sense because when I make a Giannis video, I think my most viewed video is a Giannis video. I think some of my most viewed videos are about Giannis, if I'm not mistaken.
I
Giannis
can
gets
answer this
Wait,
for a
Giannis
fact,
gets
wait,
all
wait,
the
Lo.
wait,
love.
wait,
Hold
wait,
up,
wait.
Two
real
of
quick.
your
But I
Giannis
only.
think,
gets lots
but
of.
we no,
Hold up,
Wait,
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 real
wait.
wait,
quick.
wait,
We
wait,
we
Let's
wait.
talk
already
about.
addressed this
Hold
though.
up, real quick.
We
Real
Ty,
already
quick.
Ty,
addressed this
Ty.
though. Cause
My bad. Go ahead.
No. I just wanna back up what Lo just said. Lo's channel does extremely well, but he only has a couple views with over a million views.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is related to the Bucks rise, and the other one is a Giannis video. I wonder where the correlation with that is. Maybe NBA fans really like Giannis. Maybe that's why every year the Bucks rank top 5 in
So I
TV
have a
ratings.
question for you then, Eli, my
Where the
dog.
fuck do the Grizzlies rank
So
this
where?
season?
Hold up, my dog. So we've seen, right, teams in markets that aren't necessarily large markets, right, blow up and become, national teams. We've seen it before.
The Grizzlies
Like,
aren't that though.
the Grizzlies have become to an extent a national team, but it's more so Ja. Like, Ja is Showtime. It is what it is.
Then why do
But I
niggas
think,
get
hold
flexed
on,
out of?
listen.
They get flexed out of national TV games all the time
If
because
you're
niggas,
not,
niggas don't watch them.
if you're not the first off, they don't get flexed out of national TV games all the time. Like, this is not what happens. But I'm sure they've been flexed out of TV games at least
I'm
a couple
gassing it.
times this season. Right? It is what it is. But I get your point. I'm saying, like, unless frankly you're the NBA's already like locked in cash cow, a la Stephen Curry, and we saw Braun getting flexed out earlier this year for Steph. Like, we've seen that. Like, everybody can get flexed. Like, it is what they're just about the paper, dog. Like, it is, and they're aware that they have to be about the paper because everybody's coming. This is the hardest time for like getting eyes. Like, there's so many things pulling people's attention. Like, the cable networks are literally dying. They don't have time for it. That's
But
my
what's
that's
your
my
okay,
only
wait. Can I ask
contention.
a question?
All
Can I
right,
ask a
go ahead,
question?
go
Because
ahead.
he's talking about the paper, and by paper, you're associating that with how famous you are and how likable you
No.
are.
Strictly
Yeah,
money that I'm strictly the players, right? That get people to watch because that is how they sell ad dollars and that's how they make their
yeah, that's
revenue,
what I'm saying.
right?
Yeah, that's how
That it's
And
yeah,
what
how
we're
purely
famous
trying
they
to
are.
say
Yeah, that's
is,
what I'm saying. So like,
it don't
on the
make
court
sense
though.
to
is that
push Ja.
Well, that.
I'm
But
saying
then
whatever
wouldn't it
they're
then not
doing
make
is what
sense?
they're getting. That's all
Well,
I'm saying.
I get that. I get that. But then how could you possibly know what you're getting out of the Nuggets and out of Jokic if you aren't even going to promote him in your regular talk shows to have people want to go see how he plays?
And then
So
why would
real
you
quick,
why would you roll the dice on John Morant, not knowing what he's going to be established as? And we already know who the fuck DeMar DeRozan is. So why even go? Why push him? So I understand
so
what you're saying.
uh,
If we were just rolling the dice on the players, that's fine. But there's never been a player that's as established as Giannis is at the age of 27, and you don't run with that. Every
they,
player in NBA history
I
who's
just
been at
gotta,
that
I just
stage.
gotta disagree with you if the implication is that Giannis doesn't get shine, push, favor from the networks, the NBA, like they would be, frankly, like wild dumb to like not
Well,
push that, and
okay,
they
I'm
just
I'm
do.
I'm I'm
Like
telling I'm
I
saying
don't
are we?
really know. I can't
you can
necessarily.
go on the ESPN site, you can go on the ESPN site, you can go on the YouTube channel, you can go and watch how I'm telling you, just type in John Morant and then
Mhm.
type in Giannis. There's more stories, there's more videos,
Mhm.
there's more headlines that features John
If you're
Morant.
talking about like right now, it
Oh,
makes sense
I
because
think
it's the new thing.
even
But no, but they've never I see what you're saying, but they've never done that though. There's
What?
never
They
been a
just did
player.
it with Zion.
No. I'm saying there's never been a player in NBA history who is as established as Giannis at the point in his career where he is on the path of making a case of being a top 10 player all time. And then they said, you know what? We're now about to just pivot from him and then roll the dice on an upcoming player. That's never happened.
I just don't concur with the idea that they've just pivoted away from Giannis. I just
They
yes
don't.
they
they
I
have,
don't.
They
yes they
have.
have,
Yes,
but
they
they
have.
have though.
and it's not even. I feel like y'all not.
They
It's not
have.
even. It's not even just pivoting away with the tension, but they don't respect him. Like they don't respect Giannis. Like look at how the mainstream media talks about Giannis ring, and look at how like they talk about his play style, and like they say he's not skilled. They say, oh sure, he's not a
Who says
closer.
he's not skilled? The
That's
only
People
not
nigga
say
I
that
national
all the
ever
media.
heard
time. They say that
was
all the
Stephen A.
James
time.
Smith just
Harden.
said.
The only nigga I ever heard say Giannis wasn't skilled was James Harden. Like
I'm
I feel
legit.
like
Okay,
some
you
niggas
want me to
do
get you
like
let me tell you how.
take
Let me
like
tell you someone.
Hey,
Stephen A. Smith, for
let's
example.
specify too.
Stephen A. Smith, for
yeah.
example.
The
Okay.
players and the ex players, they all respect
I'll
Giannis.
give you Stephen A. Smith.
Well,
Stephen A.
Steven
Smith.
Jackson, my nigga, he
Stephen A.
definitely
Yeah,
Smith.
Steven
respects Giannis,
Jackson.
huh?
Stephen Jackson
Steven
also is
Jackson's another
disrespectful.
one. Yeah,
Steven
Steven
Jackson,
Jackson's another one.
and it's crazy
Uh,
because Steven Jackson, I had a lot of respect for him until he started saying dumb shit about fucking. He said they were a super
The
team
nigga
after they
literally
won a
played with
championship.
the nigga literally played with Tim fucking Duncan and is talking about
I,
fucking tween hezzy splash, but
I
it's
think
whatever, my nigga,
And it's
bro.
not even just that,
I don't
Eli.
know. I
Like,
don't know
it's
that
not even
those.
just that. I've heard people like when Giannis won his ring. Like, look at Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith said he doesn't even want to hear Giannis in the same breath as Kevin Durant.
Which is
You
crazy.
completely forgot. Y'all
Okay, I
completely
mean,
forgot
yo,
Steven Jackson
Stephen
pushing.
A. loves Kevin Durant. Like Stephen A. does love
I
Kevin Durant, and he
but
loves to slander him.
No,
But
but
and then
Judo,
he does
Judo,
the
But
weird.
Judo, you also
people,
forgot.
I
it's
just
not even
Y'all
just
forgetting.
media. People do that. People act like Giannis is like it's just disrespectful to say Giannis is better than Katie. Like it's just disrespectful because Katie kind of tween hezzy.
I don't think it's Katie has a tween hezzy splash as much as Kevin Durant was drafted in 2007 and has like 4 scoring
What
titles
does that
and
even
like
mean? Gian,
but
okay,
whoa
like
whoa whoa
he's
whoa
no
whoa
no
whoa
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 whoa whoa
whoa
whoa
whoa
whoa
here's
stop
here's what I
because
mean.
he's
It's
because
he's been outside. I'm
but you're
not saying
contradicting
I'm
what
not
you're saying before though, because you're saying that
my
if the
whole
reason
thing is
well,
I don't oh go ahead, my bad, go
no,
ahead.
because if you're saying that if they're picking Ja because he's a new thing, well, wouldn't Giannis then be the new thing to counteract
hmm
KD? Especially since we legitimately don't
Well,
know if KD's even going to be available.
so
This has never happened. This has
and
never
low. I'm not even
happened.
gonna
so
lie. I
real
can
quick.
make the valid argument. I can make a very very valid considering when Giannis got in the league. Since Giannis has been in the NBA, you could say he's more accomplished than Kevin Durant. Since he's been in the league, like you could
I
actually
don't
say
think
that.
you could say that.
How he has
Kevin
2
Durant
Finals
has had
You
MVPs?
mean
career.
like
Yeah,
so
Kevin
far?
Durant has had 2 rings. Like
And I'm
I
talking
don't.
about since Giannis has become like
I
a
don't
all
know.
star.
All right.
What
Well,
much
Giannis
you're
entered the
saying,
league in
what much you're
2013,
Must
right?
he
saying
even
might be
just
Wait, wait,
facts.
wait, wait, wait,
I'm
wait, wait,
sure.
wait.
From 2019 to right now, undisputedly, Giannis has been more accomplished. Like
It's
I'm
not even debatable. It's not
And
debatable.
better.
18
He's
months
been
to
a
But
better
that's
player
2
too.
years. Like
Of
that's
course,
not
yeah.
Yeah,
like
hell,
yeah,
that's 4
I'll
no,
even
years.
that's
go
not.
this far.
Right.
I'll even go
Four.
this.
That's literally
Let's not let's
four.
not be yelling over
19,
each other.
20,
Let's
21, and
not be
now,
yelling over
nigga.
each other. Eli, shut up real quick. Let's not be yelling over each other because Buster's here. I
Ain't
know you
gonna
got a
talk to me
loud
like I'm
mic.
a bitch, young nigga.
All right, nigga. All right, you want to get? All right, you're done for the day, bud. And as I
Yo,
was
come
saying,
on, bro.
but like, no need to be yelling over each other. You know what I'm saying? But real quick, because someone brought up Steven Jackson, we can't just forget that Steven Jackson was pushing Chris Paul over Nikola Jokic agenda. He was saying that to players in his interview, in their personal interviews, and he was saying it on national television on both ESPN and Fox Sports. So players do this, and it does trickle down from the NBA.
Well, I mean,
For sure, but I think. Oh, go ahead.
with the whole whoever said like Giannis is more accomplished the last 3 years, you don't even have to say that. Like you just to say he's the most decorated player this fast. Like just say that.
Nah, I'll even go as far as to
For
say
Giannis is him.
since 2017, Giannis has been more accomplished than Kevin Durant.
Too far.
For sure, Giannis is him. Giannis.
Cook.
Well, I'm not. It doesn't matter.
Since
It
since
doesn't matter real quick though.
2017,
Since he became an All-Star, you could argue he's more accomplished than Kevin
since
Durant.
2017 when KD ran 2 rings and 2 finals MVPs.
Mickey
That's
Mouse.
cool.
That,
Giannis.
but okay, that's one more championship and one more Finals MVP to Giannis's
That's
2
also a
regular
double.
season MVPs, more All NBA, more All Defensive Team, more everything.
Facts.
I
And the
do
hype.
more.
Everything else
Yeah,
is
but
more. But
I'm
even
Defensive
saying
player of the
I'm
year.
I'm saying
Look,
since
but I'm
2017
not
though.
here. I'm
I'll
not here
say
to
since
debate
2019
semantics.
though.
The point I'm making that at 27, there you can't find a player with a better resume damn near. And so
Agreed.
the point that I'm making is that it's never been that. When LeBron was in his fucking peak, when he was in his prime, nobody was sitting there saying, "Hey, let's roll the fucking dice to see what James Harden now does in Houston." They weren't doing that. They weren't doing that. Nobody was doing that. They
So
didn't do it.
so could it be
I
possible
agree.
that they
I
understand
will
Giannis
say
the finish?
they did give Paul PG some love, but it was
They
never over
100%.
LeBron.
It
But look,
was
here's my
never
thing.
over LeBron.
It was never over
Yeah,
LeBron.
but isn't
It's
it possible
never
that
an over.
Giannis they know who he is and what he's gonna do, and they're just taking his time like to build up build up a couple other young guys as well?
You want to know
So
something? I think
It's
so what's your
rating. Yo, the
again?
NBA is a
But
wait. The NBA is a star-driven league. The NBA will not sustain if they are not constantly building up new stars to take the torches. You have like their business model literally mandates it, right? So they can't. So I don't necessarily think that even though Stephen A is the biggest like and most important sports media guy like ever, even him and all the rest of them aren't. I don't think they're necessarily moving the needle on views like that. Like as far as views on games, and that's what's bringing all the revenue in. That's what like I don't really see it anyway.
Also,
But also,
but
influence the casual fan.
but can we not also take into
I don't
account
know,
like the
man. They're
social
not
media era we
changing.
live in though? Because
They're
like
Social
not
media.
changing.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
but they're
social
not
media era,
changing the
they're gonna be
national
saying
TV.
things for clickbait though. Like they're gonna be saying a lot of things and putting y'all
Exactly.
here as
what
highlight
y'all
worthy,
Stephen
saying
A.
They're
Smith
is
is
they're
not
like
just
non
reliable.
life
bro.
worthy.
All right. I'm gonna just say it again.
it's all for
What y'all saying
views.
is true, but again, it's not. I'm not saying it's either one or the other. They gotta be one or the other. Either you say, I'll read off some of the fucking headlines they've said about John Morant and DeMar this year. John Morant compared to fucking Michael Jordan by not just one person, by several people in the media being compared to Michael Jordan. They're comparing DeMar DeRozan to Wilt Chamberlain because he's done things that they haven't done before. They're making huge leaps for both John Morant and DeRozan.
But
That's
bruh,
fine.
this
Yo,
the same network.
wait. That's fine. They're doing it for clickbaits. Fine. What we're saying is, why not do that for Giannis, Jokic, and Embiid? That's what we're saying. So if you're going to make hyperbolic arguments and titles and clickbait thumbnails for these other players, why not do it for them? It would also make more sense that they do it for them because it's more likely that they're going to be more successful than them.
And they
DeMar,
look
And
right.
newsflash,
my
everybody in
only
I
there.
argument,
I feel
my
like
only argument is that right, they have entire departments dedicated to to the numbers as far as and they're responding to their stimuli. So if
But they've been
maybe
wrong. They've been wrong for the last 7 years.
I
Every single last
I don't know.
every single last young player that just came in the league. They've swung and missed since the fucking 2014 draft.
Ben
Oh,
Simmons.
Lonzo Ball.
Andrew.
What?
I feel like
I'll run it down
That,
for you. How many
okay.
times did we have to hear about Andrew Wiggins being the next such and such? How many times? How many years was that? How many years did we hear about Jabari Parker? How many years was that? How many years did we have to
Jabari
hear?
Parker got hurt pretty quickly. I feel like Jabari
Bro,
Parker
shut
still
But
up.
they
fell
That
off.
were,
nigga was
But
not.
no,
No,
but you still,
Jabari
you're
Parker
missing.
Don't
was
but
hey,
was
You're
don't
nah,
don't
I
forget
missing
get
the
no,
Marvin.
point.
I
Don't
get
forget
no. Hold
You're
Marvin
on.
missing.
Bagley.
You're missing the
Let
point. You're
finish
missing
the
the
point.
point. Then
I
we
get
go
what
to
he's
the
saying
we
though.
go to
draft
the
some
next year.
crapshoot.
We go to the next year. How many years do we
Okay.
hear about D'Lo and Jaleel Okafor and even Towns to an extent? How many years do we hear about that? The next year, how many years do
They
we hear
was
about
gassing.
Ben
They was
Simmons
gassing
having to
that, and
get
I
But
love
they were
Cat.
picked first.
Ben
Bro, let him
Simmons
finish.
having to
Let him
get
finish.
time after time after time after time, while in the same fucking draft, Jaylen Brown and Brandon Ingram are in there, and they don't get that much media coverage. And then Pascal Siakam is also in that same draft class, and he didn't get the same media
Right,
coverage.
but the
How many? How
NBA
many? How many
teams
times?
No,
didn't
let
Wait,
him
give
wait,
let
him
him
wait, wait,
finish.
that
Let him
wait,
love.
finish. Let
wait,
him
wait,
finish.
wait, wait.
Let him land. Let
I
him land.
promise you. I
Let him
promise you.
land.
I'm almost done. How many times did we have to hear about Lonzo fucking Ball? How many times we had to hear about Markelle Fultz? How many times do we have to hear about them players? We go to the next year. How many fucking times do we have to hear about fucking all the other players that were drafted before someone like fucking Shea and then Anthony Simons and all these other players that get drafted after them? Mo Bamba had a whole fucking song named about him, bro. They've
So
been swinging and missing for years. And so while we sit here, hold our hands and cross our fingers and hope that Lonzo Ball, hopefully he comes into pans out to the next fucking Magic Johnson. There go Donovan Mitchell and there go Bam Adebayo, and you got somebody on the fucking on Fox who can't even pronounce. He don't even know who Bam Adebayo is. But that's the nigga that's sitting there pushing the agenda. He don't even know who he is, and it's his job to know him. Then you go back to 2016, while we sit there and we hold our hands and hope that Ben Simmons finally figures it out. Pascal Siakam turns into an All NBA caliber player. You don't even hear about it. You go back another year, 2015. We hold our hands. We hope that one day D'Lo and Jaleel Okafor, fucking Stephen A. Smith is pushing his Jaleel Okafor agenda over and over and over again. Then Devin Booker emerges, and in the last 3 or 4 years of his career, when he's putting up all-time great shooting guard numbers, oh no, it's empty stats. But you're gonna sit there and hold your fucking cross your fingers for fucking Karl Anthony Towns, even though he losing too. You go back the next year, Andrew Wiggins. We just hoping and praying that he turns out to be that player. Oh,
maybe
but
Jordan.
while in that same draft class, Nikola Jokic is getting picked, and in the following seasons he's putting up all-time great numbers. And then here we are now, smack dab in his prime, and now niggas is fighting about who he is as a player. And while all
right,
that's happening, Giannis is also putting up crazy numbers too. Y'all niggas still fighting it. Everybody's still sitting there crossing their fingers and just hoping and praying that Anthony Davis can somehow figure it out while Giannis is actually doing it. Y'all sitting there hoping and praying. Oh shit, Kimba, he's on another team now. He's on Boston. He's the new fucking such and such. He's going to replace
Not
Kyrie
Kemba, man.
But they
but
all
bro,
that
I think
nasty
we're
Wait,
And
wait,
talking
talking
can
you
about
know
I?
what's
Wait,
crazy,
wait,
Lo?
real quick. Because I wanted to add the low, but I'm not gonna be yelling over niggas in my own space, right? To add on to Lowe's point, Giannis and the Bucks last year in the 2021 NBA season, I did my own research. They had 27 national TV games. This year they have 25. Keep in mind, last year was a 72 game season. The Knicks then are now not only were the Knicks slated to then play more national TV games this year, but they only got single digit national TV games last year. So we can't sit here and try to play, well, they're doing it for money, they're doing it for this. The Bucks are the defending champions and got less games on national TV than they did the previous year. The year after, when niggas were calling them frauds, by the way. Like, let's just keep this shit a buck. Thank you.
You know what's wild. You know what's
Yeah,
so
but those
crazy.
things are made
real
Look
quick.
before
at
the
Y'all
look
let me
at
talk.
season.
let's look at the reaction of the media when Giannis and AD hit their peaks. Right. Look at Anthony Davis when the Lakers won in the bubble. The immediate
he's
reaction
the
was
next Tim Duncan.
he's the next Duncan. Yeah, exactly. He's the next Duncan. Is he going to be the greatest big that the Lakers have ever had? They ranked him
But
as the second best player in the NBA. Meanwhile,
And
but
Giannis wins his ring, and niggas were sitting there still debating. Oh, is he even better than KD? Is he even better than this guy? Did they get lucky?
And I don't
Like that.
have
That was
and
the
again,
debate.
I want to be clear before you respond real quick. I don't if you want to go on this idea that clickbaity titles, that's fine. I don't agree with it, but fair. But all we're saying is if you're going to jump to that conclusion because Anthony Davis was the second best player, or even if you want to argue he was the best player and should have won final, even if you want to go down that road, if you're going to make that much of a leap for AD to compare him to Tim Duncan, why the fuck can we not? Why are you not doing that for Giannis? That's all we're asking.
I
So
feel
I
like they're
And
think
not
mind you,
doing it for
Giannis has a
Giannis.
better body of work for you to make
wait,
that kind of
Way
I
assumption.
better.
feel like they're
Shut
not
up,
doing it for
Almo.
Giannis
I
just
think we're
because
talking about
No way,
Ja's a
Boston.
he's
new
fighter.
face. Like
Well, I
the
think
fact that
you're
Ja's a new face, I feel like that's why they're pushing him, especially.
One at a time.
I love how you said that as I was the only one speaking. But anyway, yeah. So
Kai was
yeah, this
talking as
nigga.
well.
Okay,
You know I can
but
remove you, bitch.
Bro,
Oh my
shut
God!
anyway,
Shut
up.
anyway,
up!
Shut
I
up.
Jesus
won.
anyway,
Christ!
look. So like, yeah. But as I was saying, like the fact that Ja's such an exciting player, you know, his dunks are so electric. Like he's really hype. He gets posted all over social media. Like they're gonna post him a lot more, especially because we live in the social media era where you know they're trying to get those click through rates. And Giannis has been posted. Like we know how Giannis is. It's been like 4 years. Like Ja's fresh on the scene. They did it with Zion, like someone mentioned earlier. So I feel like that's a reason why. Um, that could be a potential reason. I think I'm gonna let Ty go.
Yeah, give me your time.
Can I
All
can
right.
I go?
We're gonna let Ty go, and then we'll let you go after that.
Yeah, I'll try to make my shit quick for you, bro. So basically, I think we're talking about two different things a little bit. Because like the first thing what you were talking about is pre-draft, and the draft is a crapshoot no matter what. Like the individuals you were talking about were drafted in the top 5. Like Pascal Siakam, he got no media coverage, but he also got no love from the NBA scouts. Like it is what it is. Like he overperformed. He did what he had to do. Like yo, Blake Griffin was the #1 pick over Stephen Curry. Like it is what it is. Jimmy Butler was 29th. Like you know what I mean, it is what it is. So like there's that. And then to the point about the national TV game thing, like once again, like the Bucks getting less a lower percentage of the total national TV games like this year as opposed to last year. That one, like that's due to a bunch of different factors. Like the Warriors coming into this year, like they had the most I think in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Like there are multiple things that pull away from it. I just think I'm always with Occam's razor. The simplest solution that requires the least amount of like connecting wires and red lines and shit is probably what it is. And just from my knowledge of the media industry and like the way I've seen like media companies react to things, it's just what's out, what's hot, what's moving right now, because they're constantly having to churn out hours and hours and hours of content every single day. Like they new shit every new right now. But over the course of the year, I think if we were to look at a study of over every day of the season, how many people got how much, I think it would be about people. You might quibble with a little bit here or there, but I think it would be about the lines that people would expect. But yeah, that's it.
I would disagree, but let me hear the other gentleman. I think it's Ian.
Yeah. I was just going to speak on how people are saying Ja for his excitement and all his highlight plays and stuff like that, but then you have Giannis being called run and jump man. All he does is run at the rim, stuff like that. So it's just baffling to me that the hypocrisy with it. Like you could just hype up John Morant, all this and that, but then when Giannis is doing it, it's all he has no skill, he has no bag, all he does is dunk, stuff like that. But now he's leading the league in scoring, so I don't understand how people can disrespect
Because
MVP.
he's not a pure hooper.
One
Come
is
on now.
6'2". One is 6'2". All right, come on
But
now.
he,
Like
but
I
no,
feel you,
but what
but
he's
let's be
saying is
honest
right.
here.
And Ja
Jaws,
got a handle on a
if
playmaker.
he's right though, Jaws essentially Jaws running and jumping, right?
Right at 6'2". Like that's what
I
it
know,
is.
But
we
he
Like
can't
I
shoot
What
get
is
what
either.
that? But what does
we
that
get
mean?
we get that we may be more impressive because he's smaller. But if the narrative by Giannis, by a lot of people, not just players but also even fans, is that's run and jump man, why the fuck is that not the argument for Ja?
I don't know that, like, frankly,
Honestly
I'm not
though,
gonna
You
hold you.
honestly,
I
you
know
don't
want to know
think
why,
most
something?
bro.
You
people
want
You
to know
know
something
I don't
why.
low?
Come
think
on.
I
You
don't
Low,
know
think
why.
people
You know
hold on.
why.
low. You
Wait,
want to know
real quick.
something that
I don't
You know
think
I
why.
don't
most people
understand?
outside of a small bubble on Twitter are calling Giannis run and jump man. Frankly, I don't think that's
But
most
It's
people's
been for
thing.
years. People
they
been
No,
calling him
no,
that.
were
no, no, no. It's
calling
because
him that.
as soon as NBA players are questioning the legitimacy of his skill set, and other
They did it with
media
Steph
members are
too.
also questioning
that.
Okay. Once again, don't mean to cut y'all off again, but I got my point got challenged earlier by Ty, and to then counter that, the Warriors in the 2018 season. I'm gonna go to the 17 season later, but the Warriors in the 2017-2018 season got 41 national TV games. They won the championship that year. The next year they got 43. So I don't know what we're doing here, trying to talk about this new thing. Keep in mind the Warriors at this time have won 3 titles in 4 years. There is no new thing. They're the same team. Meanwhile, the Bucks just won 1 championship, and they got less national TV games.
Imagine
Also,
after
because his team's
imagine after
declined as
Shaq and
well.
Comparing the
Kobe.
Bucks to the Kevin Durant, Steph Curry Warriors.
No,
Like, it's just a different thing. Come on, G.
imagine if after Shaq and Kobe won their first ring, they were like, "Oh, let's try this new thing out." They don't do that. They
What
don't
I'm
do
not,
I'm
what I'm
it.
not, what
sorry.
I'm not
The Bucks
understanding, what
are
I'm not
not
understanding,
the Shaq are not the
guys,
Shaq
what
Kobe
I'm not
But
Warriors.
getting,
but
what I'm not getting here is that, like, how is it hard for y'all not to understand that Giannis does not get like the respect and credit, and Jokic too? But let's stay on topic with Giannis for a second. How do y'all not get that? Because like, look at everything he's done in the last 5 or so years, or hell, 3 years. MVP, second depoy, or excuse me, second in depoy race. Next year, another MVP, depoy win. For second or third player to do that in history outside of Jordan and Hakeem. The next year, championship, finals MVP, 50 piece in the finals. I'm not, I hate to bring Bron into everything, but if LeBron did that, we would be talking about that all off season. They talked about that for
He
like
did do it.
one day and moved on the next day. Like that's what they did. They started challenging his legitimacy to the ring. They didn't do that with LeBron when LeBron and them went in the bubble. They started up the Jordan debate. We all know that's like they always like to do that. They started boosting AD. They gave LeBron his rightful credit and power to him. He earned that. But if LeBron did the things that Giannis was doing over the last 3 years, they would be on his dick every single day, and they already are. And he hasn't been doing that for years. So I don't understand. And this whole run and dunk thing, I don't understand like how y'all are not getting it. Giannis has a narrative that like he's not skilled, which is just stupid. It's just stupid. I don't understand that. Basketball picks niggas for their height. That is how basketball works. Everybody in basketball is taller than the average man. So if somebody is 6'11", how many 6'11" niggas are like Kevin Durant? How many guys are like that? Why is it bad for Giannis to use his height to score and his size to score? It's not like he's literally only just doing. If you watched him this year, he's taking mid-range jumpers. He's doing fall away or fadeaways from like 12, 15 feet. He's a versatile player. He's a versatile scorer, and some people don't even think that. They don't think he's versatile, and that's just it's stupid to me. I don't get how y'all don't see this.
Giannis just started adding those type of things to his game recently, and you can't compare Giannis to like LeBron. LeBron had a medium machine behind him for 18, 19 years now since high school.
but
And I
that's
can't
Yeah,
that's
compare that
what
to
Giannis should
that's
have
what
Giannis.
had that.
but
Giannis should have had
We
that
make
same
it
Giannis
wild
wasn't
mid-range.
we're
when
saying that
Giannis
Giannis
wasn't
should
a top
have that.
player as when he came into the league. He wasn't a top
I
player.
know, I get that, but what we're saying is Giannis should have that right now. That's what we're saying. Maybe not to the same extent as
no,
LeBron.
he should
Fine.
not have LeBron. No,
No,
Well, I
no, no,
mean,
no,
not
no,
at
no.
all.
Well, maybe not to the same push as LeBron, but Giannis is at a point now where there should be a push for him. There shouldn't be a we're shaking the dice on the new thing instead of praising LeBron like that. I mean, praising Giannis. That shouldn't be a
Bro, Lo,
thing.
I'll give you an
Hey,
He
example.
yo,
won
low.
his
I'll
In
first
give you an
MVP
'08,
off
example.
a
I'll give you
in
an
push.
'08,
example of somebody
LeBron
who
James was
got
the best
pushed.
player
I'll
in the
give you an
league, and
example
it
of
was
someone who
Kobe.
got pushed in the media and was in a small market, started off his career pretty slow. Look at Steve Nash. Steve Nash won back-to-back MVPs. He was in a small market of Phoenix, started off his career very slow. He didn't even get to the finals. And he was getting media attention and media love. People were saying he was getting too much of it because he beat Kobe for the MVP. You know what I'm saying? So why is it that Giannis can't get that kind of love? Giannis, anytime he gets media love, it's whenever they want to compare him to somebody and say, oh, he doesn't have the skill that KD got.
I
That's
feel
what
like
they
Giannis,
do.
I feel
Giannis
And
I
won
you
feel like
notice,
MVP
that.
you
after
notice they
choking in the
stopped
playoffs.
talking.
Kobe
You notice,
Bryant.
you notice they stopped talking about him as much when he made his decision. When he
I,
made his decision to stay in Milwaukee, I can tell that made a lot of media members mad because they probably wanted him to go to Miami. They probably wanted him to go to Golden State, but he chose to stay in the small market. He made small market. That was a huge dub for small market teams, and I'm sure a lot of the media did not like that.
I
Are
feel
we
like
I
that.
mean,
serious right
Giannis
I
won
now?
feel
an
like I
Y'all
MVP
feel
got
like
after choking in
that
the
conspiracy
playoffs.
theories to
argument.
Oh,
this
one at
shit?
a time, one at a time, one at a time, one at a time, one at a time.
I feel like that argument. Like, yeah, I get it. Like, I see it too. The run and dunk man shit. That shit is so tired. Like, it's a brain dead argument because. And then somebody, I don't know who said it, but said that he wasn't skilled. And I'm like, the literal definition of a skill is like your ability to do something like great. You feel me? And Giannis is like one of the most efficient like scorers. So I don't understand how that's not
And
skill.
defense
I mean,
too.
scoring is not just because you score doesn't mean you're automatically a skilled scorer. But
No, finishing,
Okay,
brother.
but Giannis
He's a
has
skilled
skills.
finisher.
Giannis can
he's
handle the
developing
ball.
skill now. Like the
No,
last
no,
two
no, no. Shut up,
seasons,
shut up, shut up.
Bro,
Giannis has
he
always
finishing,
wasn't
had
always
finishing.
skill.
like that.
Shut up. He's always had skill. Get out
He's
of here.
had
Y'all got to stop doing this weird shit with the word skill, bro. The definition of skill is being good at something, my nigga. By definition, if you're a fucking good basketball player, you're a skilled basketball player. Stop doing this shit where we look at 20 heads splash. Kyrie, most skilled ever.
So
Finish, yeah,
now
finishing is a
everybody's skilled.
skill. I
Then
don't.
Because
everybody's
Eli,
skilled.
it's about the
yes. If
aesthetic.
you
It's about the
wait, wait,
aesthetic.
wait, wait, yes.
NBA, my
If
nigga.
you put up
Yo, who are
25
we
to 30
talking
points, bro, you're
about?
skilled, bro. You can't just walk into. You can't be unskilled and put up 25 to 30 points, bro. You can't be.
We're
I
talking about
just
Because
NBA
don't know
because
players.
if
if
We
it
because
know
if
I just
everybody
Giannis if
has a
Giannis was
level
not
of
Oh no,
skilled,
skill.
wait, wait. What
why
is
is
he saying?
everybody
What
not
is he
doing it?
saying? Wait. What is he saying? What is he saying?
I'm saying now that we're in the NBA level, everybody has a level of skill. We all get that, but there's a bigger like the skill level between a guy like Steph Curry and Giannis is a huge gap between their actual skill level.
Okay, Rocket Man, let me ask you something.
No,
Let
it's
me ask you
not,
something.
bro.
Can
No,
Giannis
it's
can
The gap is
Giannis
not.
that
can Giannis
even
can
if there's
Giannis
a
handle the
gap,
ball, Rocket Man?
even if there's a gap
For
in
his size, he
skills,
can
there's
handle it
also
pretty
a
well.
pretty there's
Okay,
also a
okay.
pretty damn big
Can
gap
he is
in
he a good
defense.
playmaker?
It's whatever, bro.
I mean, he drives and kicks, but I guess yeah.
No,
This
that's
is
not all
just
he
a
does.
game.
That's not all he does.
I
He when he
mean,
draws in his
He's
double
Assist
a
doesn't
teams.
mean
great
you're a good
skilled
playmaker.
passer, dickhead.
I'm about to
bruh,
say
I'm about to
he's a
say
great
he's
he's great
great
at
and he's
he's great at
skilled.
getting
Like
hockey
it is
assists,
what it
the
is.
swing assists, all of that. He's a great passer. That's not
But
even
even,
debatable.
okay, even if you want to say that there's, even if you want to believe there's this abstract, like this huge gap between Giannis and Curry, which I would then ask you, what is the gap? Shooting, right?
I'd say like shooting, ball handling, passing, but it doesn't
Shooting,
matter
ball
because
handling, like
Giannis is a
managing a
great
game.
player. It
Okay,
doesn't
okay.
matter
And
though.
who? Wait,
Well, defense.
in
I'm
defense,
about
what
to
about
say
defense?
Defense is a skill too, for
Yeah, okay,
sure.
then he has him on defense, of course.
Okay,
I don't
so
understand. Giannis is one of the
but
most
the
skilled
okay, but
players
the
ever.
point, the other point
Yes.
the other point I'm trying to make is that even a couple things, because I'm doing more and more research and it's nasty. The fact that the Celtics had more fucking televised national televised games this year than both the fucking the Nuggets and the Sixers is crazy.
Low, can I
Straight
add to
fucking
that? Can I
crazy.
add to
But
that, by
hey,
the way? Can I add to that?
Oh,
Okay, so
what's
come
that?
Can I?
on.
another point, because he said don't bring up the Warriors, right? So then I went to go look for a superstar in a bad market, right? So I went to the Blazers. So the Blazers in 2018 had 20 national TV games. In 2019, keep in mind they had just gotten swept and did not make any, and I mean any moves to vitally improve the roster. They then jumped up to 25 national TV games.
Wait, what year is this?
So I have
2019.
a question. I have a question. Are you implying, right? Or do you think that the amount of national TV games you get from year to year, that the delta is because of
No,
like
that's what
wait, what
I
do you
am
like
saying is the fact that the defending champions have less national TV games than the New York Knicks, who just got outed by trade.
means
It
what
means that
to
they do
you?
not want to promote them. That's what it means. It means they want to promote the Knicks more.
First off, it's once again, it's not necessarily what they want to promote. Like I think you're the I guess
So
our
you
thinking
don't. So
the
okay, wait.
reason
So let me
we're
ask. So
having
you
a
don't think the
dis
defending
for
champs are profitable?
I do no. I of course they're profitable. Like look, first off, revenue sharing, all of these motherfuckers is profitable, frankly. But what I'm saying is like the decision making process, right, is I think we're looking at it oppositely. I'm saying, right, that they're looking at the numbers they have, right, the way they have to schedule it, how many people usually watch this, like their research, their focus groups, all this shit, and then they're coming to a decision.
But the counter to
And
that,
the counter to that,
the counter to that is that Eli also brought up earlier today how top three, like every year, every non-Steph or LeBron big game is always Giannis. Like it was something like that, Eli. That
He's usually
yes,
included.
that Giannis is usually
Every
one of
I
the
mean,
biggest games.
that makes sense. LeBron, Steph, Giannis as the three biggest. Well, Kevin Durant ish, but he'd be hurt. Like it's like that. Once again, that makes sense. I'm just saying. What I'm just trying to get across is the NBA is not necessarily that concerned, frankly, with setting an agenda outside of what's going to bring the NBA the most money.
Okay,
Like,
I can easily disprove that by just giving you an example. Look at Zion. When Zion came into the NBA, there was a clear, very, very clear agenda to make him the face of the league. The Pelicans had
he
more
was a
national
fucking
TV games.
superstar.
The Pelicans, okay, but you just said they don't have agendas.
Right.
The Pelicans,
from Duke.
they literally made the bubble for him. They made the bubble for him.
Hold up, but real quick, think about this. Zion was the best prospect since Braun at Duke.
But what does that mean? How does that help your argument?
The most eyes. So they were responding to outside stimuli. They, ESPN, TNT, the schedule makers, the NBA.
So they have agenda, correct?
It's not,
hold on, wait.
Exactly. Their agenda is make money. What people are looking at, the most eyes, the most money, the most eyes, so they can sell their ad dollars. The reason the Knicks always, even though they suck, have always been at the center of the because that
okay. And my response to that is that I think you're underrating. I think you're underrating the pull that international players will have if they actually promoted them. Giannis not only has people. Giannis has people in Europe that he can get pull from, and Africa. So and then Jokic as well. He has pull in Europe.
The game. They're actively expanding the game
I guess
to international countries. Come on,
okay,
now. What are we talking about?
My question would be to you because I'm not even gonna. My question still, if this is because this is where to me it just falls apart. My question is, okay, if what you're saying is true, why roll the dice on a Ja Morant and DeMar DeRozan push?
Because people are watching. That's it.
No, but the reality is they're not though. More people are watching fucking Embiid and Giannis than Ja Morant and what's his name? And DeRozan.
So once again, if
at least for Ja, I can understand the argument, like because I can understand them pushing him a little bit more because it is new things that we're seeing from a recently player. But for DeMar, DeMar is breaking a lot of records. He was media was saying he's the worst signing of the offseason, and no one expected the Bulls to be like this good or for him to be this good. So I understand the push for him on that part. But yeah, I don't think he should be getting more push than Giannis or anything. But the Ja thing, I can understand why they're doing that. But I do agree with you on the DeMar thing, even though he is breaking records, and the Wilt comparisons come from him breaking Wilt's scoring record for most like 35-point games, like 50% shooter or something like that. I forget what it is. But yeah, the Ja thing, the only reasonable explanation, because yeah, you're right. Like the Milwaukee Bucks are going to get more attention. Giannis is established, and B is going crazy. He's established. Ja is a fresh face, and he's getting a lot of these D-Rose comparisons. He's been getting that because he's a high flyer, and he is like 6'2". So I feel like that's the reason why they're pushing him on ESPN, especially in this era.
Hot dog water and oatmeal.
I saw that too. All I'm saying is that on one hand,
I had to see that shit. So did y'all.
I saw it. What I'm saying is both one player, one argument makes sense, the other one doesn't. Though that's all I'm saying. We can't say small market, but then Ja's in Memphis. We can't say it's something new, but then we already know who DeRozan is. We can't say that we can't say that somebody's doing some stuff historic, which is fine for what's his name, but fucking Giannis Giannis is right now on pace to have like 5 straight 2010 and 5 years. I don't like the last time I think that's happened. I don't even know if that's ever happened before. But there's things that Jokic, Giannis, and Embiid that are doing that are historic. So like every single thing that y'all are saying is fair. It's just that the other players are also doing that as well. Like everything that you're saying, the other player, it applies to another player that we're arguing about. And if anything, it applies to them at a much higher rate. A
Wait,
much
Low,
higher
do you
rate.
think Embiid
I
is
don't
ignored?
agree
Do
with
you think
I don't
Embiid is
agree with the
ignored,
Lamar
Low? Because
take.
I feel like Embiid gets attention. Embiid gets the media
They
coverage.
all do.
No,
Embiid
they
gets
they
gassed a lot. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
they all do, but it's not to the same level, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Go look at the stories they making about Ja. You'd have thought the nigga was averaging 38-8, playing amazing defense. Like you would have thought, like when they start throwing Michael Jordan comparisons, bro, they don't do that for the other niggas. They just
But
don't.
man, we
I've
just talked
never
about
even
how
heard
we
them. I've
know
never
it's
even mentioned. I
scripted.
never even heard them mention Kevin Garnett with
Yeah,
Giannis.
Never.
I don't agree with the fresh face thing just because I mean Giannis was never like looked at as, oh, this is
That's so
the best
cap.
player in the world. But they didn't say that.
I mean, but look at Lamelo. Lamelo got
Wait,
the fresh face
wait.
boost.
What about? Wait, hold on, hold on. I have a question. So
I just think it's what
why didn't people do that for Jokic in 2017 and 2018?
Wait, before you say that, I want Gabe and Ian to just say their points real quick because they haven't said anything in like a couple minutes, and then I want to get like some more people in here because they have some stuff to say. So
Bet.
Gabe, you guys say what you guys got to say.
Yeah, I was just gonna say about the whole xenophobia thing. Like, I feel like it's kind of idiotic to say there's none of it in the NBA or in any media in America. You know what I'm saying? But like, I think it's a bunch of factors that go into it. Xenophobia is a big part of it. I think also the fresh face thing is kind of part of it a little bit because even if you look at the NFL with like Joe Burrow and stuff, and how they kind of put Mahomes in the backseat and brought Joe Burrow up, he's the next grade. You know, when Mahomes has been doing crazy numbers the past like 3-4 years. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like, cause Giannis had like 50 or something, like, and I see none of it. Jokic had that block. I think it was Toronto or something. I see none of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I feel like if a player like DeRozan or Ja did that, you would see that everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So I think there is a lot of xenophobia and stuff like that in the NBA. But yeah, I just want to
I
say
mean,
that.
yeah. Look at that block Ja had on the Lakers.
That was nuts, though. You know what I'm saying?
That
But
was a
Yeah,
crazy
it
play.
was
That
an
was a crazy
insane
play.
block.
But
Yeah.
Jokic got game-winning blocks. What was it 3 game-winning blocks? Not a single one put on the
yeah,
Jokic has multiple game-winning blocks, and I've very rarely seen him get imposed.
yeah,
That's
but
exactly.
because Jokic should be
them
on
shits though. Them
NBA
shits be
TV.
lame, dog. Let's be real. Them shits was not what Ja's
All
block
right,
was.
man.
no,
That was
it
not.
All right, man. Nah. All right, Ian, go real quick. I'm not gonna let you start saying Jokic's blocks are lame, dog. Ian, hurry up. You can go say what you got to say, and I'm gonna bring more people in.
Is he talking about the job block
I
versus the Lakers though?
feel like anytime I'm trying to watch a Jokic game, I gotta go like NBA TV, some off shit. Hello, get out of my room. What the fuck?
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well,
That nigga
That
getting his ass beat as we speak.
That nigga mama.
Can I get
That
to my
nigga,
Jokic point though?
that nigga getting his ass beat as we
make your
speak, bro.
Jokic point. Make your
All
Jokic
right,
point.
so I hear a
Hold
lot of
on.
people saying like, "Oh, well, Ja, he's like a 6'2" guard, and he's finishing so well, and like he's short, and like we haven't like he's an up and coming player." But like, why didn't we see this for Jokic in 2017 and
Can we
2018?
stop acting like this is the same situation, bro? Like I
Yeah,
How?
heard,
I
I
don't
just
really
wanted to
think
respond
that's
to
a
that.
good question.
That's
I don't
not
think
the
that's a good
same
question.
situation.
Why? Why is
Same
that
with
not?
Giannis. I heard someone say Giannis in
Jokic
2018.
was
Like,
not exactly. Jokic was not
bro,
he was not at that level that he is now.
2017 Jokic was a borderline All NBA caliber
But
player.
he didn't. First of all, he didn't even make the All-Star team. They missed the
Why?
playoffs, and he wasn't the player he is now.
Also, Jokic's All NBA season started after Nurkic got traded. Like that wasn't a
also,
full
Yeah,
season
yeah.
start.
that was his sophomore
And
year.
then also the Giannis in 2018 talk, bro. Niggas was talking about Giannis in 2018. Like
I agree.
niggas were
Yeah,
talking
people
gassing
were talking about
Giannis
like
heavy
point
in
Giannis and
2018.
shit. Like I agree.
So why
I'm talking
I
about
heard someone
Jokic.
say Giannis. No, yeah, but I wanted to talk about that because I heard somebody say Giannis, and now I'm hearing Jokic. Like
I mean,
that's not nearly
I
comparable
don't
to
even think
Steph.
Giannis. If I'm being
I mean, not to
real,
Steph to Ja. My fault.
there was even a point in time in that 2018 season where I was like, okay,
All right,
like
Lee.
people were kind of giving Giannis a little too much stock at that point yet, and I was like, he hasn't really earned like top 5
Yeah,
player type
yeah.
of talk yet because he
I
wasn't
was
at
thinking
that
the
level
same
yet.
thing. I was thinking the same thing. Like back in like niggas was saying that in 2019 he wasn't getting that praise, but he was
Yeah,
getting that praise since like
and
ever since 2018 he been getting that
I'll
talk.
say this
Even in
though.
2017.
I'll say this. Yeah, 2017 when he beat the Raptor or not beat them, when he took the Raptors, what was it, 6 games, and he dominated the hell out of them. That's when I was thinking, okay, this guy's a superstar. Like he's really gonna reach that level next year, and he kind of did, but like they just didn't win enough, and then they lost to the Celtics, and I was like, okay, he still got work to put in. And when he won his first MVP, that's when I was like, okay, this nigga needs to get his proper just due. And it's crazy because like it's just crazy to me. Like how can people just see what Giannis has done over the last couple of years and tell me that if you put LeBron in that situation, they're not sucking his meat. Like
Nah,
they be sucking the skin off this nigga's balls.
I
So I
feel like
don't
they have been
understand that.
talking about
It's a
him.
good
I
reason.
feel like they've been talking about him for like a long time. And I feel like since Jaws like doing this and it's like a new thing to talk about, especially when we live in an era like people retention rate is super low. You gotta keep people like
Yeah,
entertained
but
like the entire
Giannis, but
time.
that's the thing. Giannis is I'm he's not new necessarily, but he's
He's
not
still
something
young.
that we've ever seen before.
I
You
agree.
know what I'm saying? Like when people say, "Oh, Ja's game, bro, it's just more fun." Even if you don't think Giannis game fun, Jokic game is fun. Jokic game is exciting. You know, he's
Real quick. Do y'all hear that? Like, do y'all understand that this is kind of like on some conspiracy theory shit? Like that, it's like, yo, there's some reason that it's xenophobia. They're really just not fucking with their cash cow products.
Nah,
Real
it's
quick
just
though, I don't
nationalism.
want
We
to
know what
say
it
that.
is. It's
I don't
bro.
nationalism.
want
This
to.
is
I don't. I
America,
didn't mean
bro.
to say.
Stop it. This
But
is
We
Real
know what
America.
quick.
it is.
Shut
It's
Real
up.
quick.
nationalism.
I didn't mean to say Jokic's blocks was lame. I meant in comparison to the job block. Like as much as Jokic got the block on. It's cool. The boy don't jump over a
Hell,
bottle of
okay,
water.
I'll
But
give you a
what?
different job block.
But again, let's
That's
say
all. No,
you're right.
that's all I was saying. That's all I
But
was saying.
let's run with the fact that you're right. That's fair. I'll agree with you. Hey, somebody 6'2" blocking may come across as more impressive than someone 6'11" blocking.
And the
But
nigga's elbows was like at the box. Like
that's
that was
that
it.
kind of
nigga that
nuts.
That's it.
nigga
That was
grabbed
That's
that
it.
kind of
bitch with two
nuts.
But
hands out the air, bro.
That was kind of
if you
nuts,
are
dog.
let's remove the player's name for a second. If you are a player who gets a game-winning block against another team that is in the middle of an 8-game winning streak, and you end that game average putting up 28, 14, and 6 or something like that on 60 plus shooting field goal percent shooting, and then you get the game-winning block. You're not about to tell me that no one is posting that.
Well, I'll
And
tell you this.
honestly,
I'll
I
tell
think
you this
y'all
as
picked the wrong
somebody.
Ja block. Do y'all remember when Ja was a rookie and he blocked Kyrie and everybody was sucking up that game winning block? Was it an overtime or
It
something?
was the one that sent it to overtime.
Yeah, everybody was posting that block. I remember seeing that shit for weeks. I
I'm
never
just
saw
telling you
one of
what
Jokic game
gets
winning blocks.
engagement. I'm just telling you
Wait, hold
what
up.
gets
I've seen
engagement
Well,
Jokic
you
game winning
keep,
block before.
but
All right,
the
Marcus.
point that I keep making is that you don't
They
know
was
what
posting
gets
his block.
engagement until you post with the shit that gets engagement. John
Hold up, but
Morant is
they
not an
do.
established
They
star.
did post Jokic's block though. I remember that's how I
They
seen it. I didn't watch
do.
the game. I seen it.
When,
That's how I seen it.
when,
They
when, when?
do.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
The
whoa.
night of.
It's just
I swear to God,
yes,
that's how I
the
When?
seen it.
night of.
Who?
I seen
ESPN did it. Bleacher
not
Report did it.
Sports Center was posting it. House of Highlights posted it. Balls Life posted it. Like it was posted. Like it was on my
I'll go
whole
to House of
feed.
Highlights right now.
And
But
low
just
to your
think,
point,
this is a
I didn't
they
watch the
did
game,
post
so that's how I
engagement. They
seen
did
it.
post engagement. They gave the Bucks 26 national TV games last year, then they gave them less because apparently for whatever reason they deserve less national TV games than they did after just winning a
Can we?
championship.
but you
Yeah,
talking
because we
What was
want to
the?
see Julius Randle
you're
more than
already
Giannis.
making
That's
I
why.
mean, the
it's
Knicks. The
Spit
Knicks
right
are
now.
the Knicks though. The Knicks are the Knicks though.
making a
Like
bet.
the
I don't
Knicks
give a
are
fuck
the
if
big
they're
market.
the Knicks. They stink. Get out of here with
No,
that,
they
man.
stink. We
It's
all
not
know that
about
they
that.
stunk
They're
for like
making a
10 years,
bet.
bro. But like the Knicks are a big market team. Like they
That's
are one of the
cool. I don't
largest
care.
funded
This
teams in the
market,
league.
nigga, and that's all
Can
they
you?
care about.
But no,
That's it.
I'm not saying that it's justified because you know what I'm saying. I'm not saying that that's what it should be. Obviously, the Bucks are better. They won a championship. They should be. Phoenix and the Bucks should have like top 5 most national televised games in the league. But the fact is, like the Knicks are the Knicks. They're a historical franchise. That's a huge market for the NBA, and they're still going to be. They still have like some of the most fans in the NBA. So of course they're going to get posted and have the most national televised games. That's
My
what
problem with
that gets
that
the
is that I
NBA bread.
already debunked that big market
Hey, you
thing
know
because I
what's
just showed you
crazy?
the
You
Dame
know what's
stuff. I
crazy
just showed
also,
you the
Ash?
Dame stuff.
You know what's crazy?
What's crazy?
Even let's look at the rookie of the year
Yeah,
race.
the
Look
Dame
at the
shit. The problem y'all keep having. If we remove anybody from the Knicks and the Lakers, players like Damian Lillard or a player like Ja Morant or a player like DeMar DeRozan, who are in any of those markets, are still getting coverage rather often. They're still getting that coverage.
But what? And you're thinking that's because of some like what? Like I don't.
But you're
I
acting
don't.
like
Yes,
I
yes,
don't know when you
Yes.
I
started watching
am.
the
Yes,
NBA,
we
bro. I don't know
are.
when you started
I've been
watching the
watching
NBA,
the
but
NBA
this is a
since 2000, like basically 2001 was I was like
okay.
six. That's the
So
first
how do
time I
you
was
not
really
know this has
locked in.
always been a problem? This has always been a
It's
problem in the
always
NBA.
money, bro. It's money. Like David Stern, the reason he helped the like he took over the NBA when shit was on tape delay. Like the nigga, his whole shit was money. What's Adam Silver on? Money. That's why these niggas is selling ads on jerseys and selling like courtside virtual seats to Oculus and shit. Because it's bread, bread, bread. That's why they're trying to
So
figure
that's
out
so that's so that's
expansion
why
shit.
niggas.
It's
So that's why
all
niggas
bread.
like Dirk and Peja Stojakovic and all these other niggas that came from overseas. That's why they didn't get the rightful attention they should have got. Because Dirk was also in not
Niggas weren't
Dirk wasn't
looking
in.
at them.
What do you say?
Is what it is because people. I'm just saying these are the decisions that are made at these levels are literally like it's like my little ass like at the copywriter we base so it's so much on market and data science. Like there's like the insights come from the data. Like that you can't run an organization like off of whims and nationalistic ideologies and tendencies. Like we don't care. Like that's not how America works.
It
America's about a
affects it
dollar.
though.
That's the
There's
point.
like
America's about a
But
dollar.
again,
it's
what
Like
you're
y'all got
fairly
to get it right.
but
inherent.
no, wait. I agree with I see I understand what you're saying, but the point that I am making is that it would it they've still chosen wrong. So what you're saying is we're there's an algorithm where they have these numbers that are based off of it. However, we're showing you right now there's a player that they're not going off of any numbers, they're rolling the dice. And then there's also players like Giannis where the numbers actually do prove it, and yet they're still not pushing him as much as they would push other players. That's what we're saying. Is that there is no number. They're going into this season, going into these stretches of Ja's greatness, which is fine. There is not a number. There's no proof that his numbers are going to just run up the fucking boards because this is the first time he's been on a team that's been relevant enough to even talk about. There is no proof.
So I have a
There's
question.
on a
I have a
whim's
question for you, Lo.
notice.
Lo, I have a question for you, right? So is the best player, right, always the most popular slash box office player?
No.
Right. Okay. So the NBA, right? They are because of their incentives. They're a capitalist organization trying to get bread, right? They are going to respond to not always necessarily the best player, but always the one who's going to get the most.
All right, I'm really getting sick of hearing that argument. We literally just said that Giannis generates some of the most viewership and some of the most money for the NBA. I'm tired of hearing this thing that, oh no, he's not generating, because that's what you're implying. That's what you're insinuating. You're saying that Giannis isn't generating, him as an individual is not generating as much money as other superstars, and that is factually incorrect. I don't know why you are bending over backwards for Adam Silver in the NBA when they are very, 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 very clearly having a negative bias towards Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks.
And not only
First
that,
off, I wasn't saying that. I don't give a fuck about
It's
Adam
what you're
Silver.
insinuating.
No, no,
It's
no,
what
no.
you're
Bruh.
I'm
insinuating.
Hey,
hold on. Let me clarify though. If
I'm
that's
not
what
gonna
is
lie,
coming off,
bro.
let me clarify. Like
Bruh,
I don't.
I said the same shit like 2 hours ago, bro. Like we,
And you were
like
fucking
Well,
wrong. You were
hold on, real
I
quick. Let me
literally,
I just don't
clarify.
get it. Y'all
Hold on, let me
arguments are
clarify.
being shut
Let me
down consistently, and
hold on,
y'all keep
Ash. Let
saying
me
the same
clarify.
shit over
bro.
and over.
That's what I'm
Hold on, let
saying.
me
I'm
clarify
trying.
right
Like, why
quick.
are we
I'm not
doing? Why are
saying.
we saying the same thing again? Like we just talked about this two
I
hours
just want to
ago.
clarify. I just want to clarify. I'm not saying Giannis doesn't get eyes. Yeah, I'm saying Giannis does get eyes, and that he gets like attention from the media. I just think it's not like I think their decisions are being made based on what they think is
What?
going to bring the most
What could
money.
it
Not
possibly
that
be
they're
okay,
based
right.
but
off of?
Not
okay,
that they're
okay.
always right.
All right, well,
They're not always right. They're wrong a lot. They're wrong a
okay,
lot.
that's the point we're making. So let's walk down this logic. What proof before this season was DeMar DeRozan and John Morant going to generate this much attention? What proof?
So before the season, right, they weren't getting this much love. they didn't start getting this much love till in the season. Remember, everybody like shat on the DeMar DeRozan stuff. Nobody picked the Grizzlies got a little bit of buzz for knocking Steph out before the playoffs and pushing the Jazz to 6 or whatever. But the Bulls ain't have no love. Like, they literally got shat on by everybody, and then like they started balling out, and then they started getting. I don't know what the national TV like, but I mean, Chicago's a pretty like okay basketball market. I mean, I don't know what the numbers are
Chicago's
specifically
the
for
biggest.
Grizzlies.
Fine.
Chicago's one of the biggest markets. Don't disrespect Chicago. Chicago's one of the
Let's
biggest
Right.
markets
Yeah,
in
I'm saying
basketball.
I don't know.
okay. Wait. We'll keep going. We'll remove Chicago.
Nigga, fuck Chicago.
Yo,
Dismiss Chicago.
respect Chicago.
Fuck Chicago,
Nigga,
nigga.
fuck
Yo,
Memphis,
Eli, you
nigga.
a funny
No
ass
bitches
nigga,
in
Fuck
town.
bro.
Memphis,
Y'all
nigga.
niggas not serious.
Nigga,
Y'all niggas
no
not
bitches
serious.
around, bro. Low ass nigga.
Funny
Fuck
nigga,
No
America.
bro.
bitches.
But
Wait,
Lolo,
Canada.
I want Lo to finish. I want Lo to
Fuck
finish his
Canada,
point. I
are
want Lo
you?
to finish his
Fuck
point
you,
though.
Eli.
Okay. Seriously though. Lo, you finish your point, and then I want Afro and what's the other guy's name? Swish RVG to talk, because they've been having their hands up for a minute. Thank you. Oh, Lo, you gone?
Nigga Lo done left us.
Marcel.
Oh, my bad.
Marcel's
You
gone.
ain't never called that
Oh,
nigga
okay.
vice
I'm
government
here.
name, bro. That's
What
crazy.
was the argument? What is the argument for them pushing John Morant in the Memphis Grizzlies early on in the season? If you say they weren't doing it, October 29th, Perkins comes out and says he doubles down on the statement, John Morant being an all-star. He goes on and on about how great John Morant has been early on in the season. What's the purpose of them doing that if there is no proof?
They had 7 nationally televised games scheduled for this year.
No,
I feel like
I get that they can't change that, but what they can change is how they talk about John Morant in the media. 3
But we
months
just
ago,
established that that's for clickbait, though, right? Like, it doesn't matter what they're saying.
wait. You established that the reason why it's for clickbait is because they're going off of some form of information that it's going to generate views. 3 months ago, November 10th, Kendrick Perkins on John Morant. He's right now in the MVP conversation. What's the purpose of saying that if you don't know if it's going to generate a buzz? What's
No,
the
it
point?
will, because it's controversial. They
it's
make
NBA
something that.
controversial
rich?
statements.
Wait,
Question
They
mark?
just say
that's a
crazy
very
shit.
shock
Yo,
value
NBA
Max
statement.
rich?
Kellerman said
That's a very shock
he'd
value
take
statement.
Andre Iguodala. Exactly. He said he'd take Andre Iguodala over
Okay,
Steph
but
Curry or Klay Thompson.
what I'm saying. All right,
It
He
fair.
was
happens.
right.
Let's say that's fair.
He was spitting, by the way.
Let's say that's fair. Why are you not then saying follow up with that segment by saying Giannis is better than Tim Duncan? That's controversial, no?
I can't speak to the
I
reason
mean,
Because
that
you
they
I
know
feel
do.
why,
like
bro. You know why. We keep going down this
I can
fucking
speak onto that. I can
No,
speak
I
onto
don't
that.
believe in y'all
Okay, I'm not
I
gonna
response.
lie.
can.
I'm
Bro, I'm
okay.
sorry.
Okay, wait a
we
minute. Wait a minute.
can't
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
we
I
keep
probably
going
can speak
down
onto
this
that.
This is
logic
this
of
is pissed
like
me off. This is pissed me off because like
y'all are going down this
this
logic
this
and then
nigga
y'all
literally
don't
gave
want to
you
follow up
examples.
on
This
it.
nigga
Bro,
literally
that's
gave
all
you an
he said
example.
though. He give
He literally
examples.
just gave you an
Y'all don't want
example.
to go.
He ran through the whole fucking example, and you're gonna sit here and be like, man, I don't know, man. Like,
Nah,
come on,
Wait,
you know
no,
exactly
wait,
why.
no.
Because
We
this
low,
whole
talked about it.
low. I feel like
They're
but this whole idea
that's
but
retention thing
again
though.
but the reason why because
asking.
you
I
originally
can't
said
prove a counterfactual. You're asking why they didn't ask certain questions outside of
Because this
other
has been a.
questions.
You just
Nigga,
said
I
you.
don't
I
know.
don't know if you're the one who said this.
I
I
get
don't know if you're the one who said this.
I get what you're saying that you don't know. That's fair. But then don't sit here and say that they weren't talking about Ja like this in the beginning of the season when they
They're
were.
talking
Then
about what they're talking about
No,
as
wait.
far
Ty
as
said preseason though. Ty wasn't talking about the beginning of the season. He's
preseason.
talking about
Yes,
preseason.
preseason. Once you get hot, once you start balling, they're going to start showing love because once again, like we talked about, it has to be, the new content. They have, first take is 2 hours. Well, I mean, with breaks and ad breaks and whatnot, but it's 2 hours of content every single fucking day. It's just churn, churn, churn. But if you can look at what they really thought about what the teams and what the eyes were going to draw by the national TV games that they had scheduled going into the season, because that tells you, all right, this is what we think is going to happen. They gave Ja 7 national TV games. Just 7.
I understand that,
But
but
that
what I'm
makes
saying,
sense. They were not a top team.
wait. I understand what you're saying. But then once they got in the season, there was a pivot. The segment I'm referring to was us only 10 games in. Kendrick Perkins makes an argument that he's supposed to be the MVP 10 games in. This
Yeah,
is
I
not
remember
later
that.
on in the
I
season.
remember that shit
But
too.
I'm saying
If you
that didn't matter. It's who. First off, we know 10 games in to say an MVP. That's really just all right. Let's just make content anyway. Let's have discussions. It's not serious
Okay,
anyway.
all right, and I agree with you. We're just making content. Since we're making content, why not then say Giannis is better than Tim Duncan? Why not then say Jokic is better than Shaq? Why not then say Embiid is better than Wilt Chamberlain? Why not just say that then? If it's just content,
I feel like they didn't say that primarily because like
Hey Trey, no, don't answer that shit.
yeah,
Let
I
him
want to hear
answer.
because
you want
it
Okay, all
my
right,
doesn't.
answer?
wait. If you want my answer, hey yo,
Okay,
Don't
y'all
take
want
that
silence?
nigga
My bad.
answer.
no. Hey yo, you
All
want my
right,
answer?
bet.
I'm
Y'all
about
got
to
it.
say
Y'all got it. Y'all got
I
it.
can speak
Cause
for
he
They
knows
they
the answer.
jumping
He
this
don't want
nigga.
to. He don't
no.
want
I
to
can
say
Nah,
it.
speak.
they
Wait, first
jumping
off,
this
well, I
nigga
can speak for
crazy.
myself. First off, because of the way like relationships work, they're not about to shit on
What?
older play. They're not going to shit on older players. First off, like that's just not something generally that's
AD
going to
But
over
they
Tim
did
that
that. No,
Duncan.
we're
We're
no.
not.
not.
Shut up.
Whoa,
Shut
whoa,
up.
whoa, whoa!
Because
Stop,
they
Whoa,
did
stop,
that
whoa,
stop,
with
stop,
whoa,
stop,
AD.
stop, stop!
whoa.
Please stop,
Hey,
please stop, please
calm
stop, please
down,
stop,
calm
please
down.
stop, please
No,
stop.
I'm
All right,
It's
sure
not.
you can find examples. But I'm just talking about generally speaking, dog. Like
But
this,
that's not
like if
true. That's not true. Shut up. That's
bro.
not true.
That, but what you're
Damn,
saying
hey, yo,
doesn't
why I
make
gotta
it.
be shut up, bro?
Nigga
All right, right fast.
lying. He's
All right, right
lying.
fast.
Shut up.
Wait,
That's
wait,
not
I'm not. Yeah,
true.
I'm not
Right
trying to
fast,
do the
right
whole.
fast. We
I'm
could.
not trying to do the whole shut
I
up
don't
thing.
have to
I
do
ain't
the
trying to do
little
all that.
disrespect shit. It's
Yeah,
weirdo. But
I'm
all
not
right,
trying to do all that. What I'm saying is, but what you're saying isn't true because they did it for Anthony Davis just a year ago. So
for
what you're
sure,
saying,
they did
so
wild
that's
out on
my
Anthony Davis.
point.
But Anthony, wait, hold on, time out. They compared Giannis to Shaq. Like you can find those things. You can like Jokic. Yo, you can find Zach Lowe saying Jokic is having maybe the best season ever. You can
Yes,
find these things.
yes.
But right, hold up. When we're talking about individual
That's
like
Zach Lowe,
talking
though, my
heads,
nigga.
right?
Come
Hold on,
on.
listen. That's what, and I
And they
brought up
shut
Zach.
down Zach Lowe when he said that.
I brought
They
up Zach
did.
Lowe. Hold on, listen. I brought up Zach Lowe to illustrate the fact that there's disparate views amongst talking heads,
He
right?
be
For
talking
Because
sure.
they
for real though. He don't even
listen.
be like
I
a
agree
lot.
what you. I agree what you're saying. I agree what you're saying. I agree
And we
what you're
all
saying.
do, but that's our whole point though. Like you're taking what we're saying and you're dissecting it into little pieces and not taking a part of our full picture. Like we understand that there are players, I mean not players, there are team members, there are media members who will come in and they will say these things like Zach Lowe, like a Bill Simmons, even though he kind of sucks, but like other players too, other media members too, right? That's not what we're trying to say. We're saying that there is a narrative put in ESPN, which is the biggest talking point for the NBA, about certain players who are from different countries and that they will not be processed through that media platform and they won't be talked about to the same level of other superstars. Like,
Ultimately, like
I just
I
disagree
haven't
with
gotten
that, man.
the
Well, what
Kai. I
about Ja
haven't.
being talked
I
more
don't even.
about than like? Is Ja not one of the most like John Demar, right? Okay, like John Demar, because I feel like that's not even a problem
Because he's
specifically to
American.
like foreign players though. But like, no, look, no, listen, like those two players get talked about more than anybody else. Like, besides Embiid, probably they get talked about more than anybody else, regardless of where they're from. Like, they get talked about more than Steph. They get talked about more than LeBron right now. They get talked about more than AD. Like, they get talked about more than everybody, especially Ja because of what Ja's doing
Trey,
and like his move.
can I say why that's a mute point? Can I say why that's a mute point?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah.
John Morant's. We all can agree that John Morant's having a very electric season. That he's having a season where like you can say he's been like we literally just said he's a top 5 MVP candidate, right? Of course, he's going to
Oh yeah, I
garner
thought
more
y'all was
attention.
capping with that shit too.
Regardless of that, right? He's going to get more attention, right? Because of this, where he has the Grizzlies and how he's been playing, right? So this whole thing about he gets more attention than anybody, yeah, because frankly, you could argue he deserves it, not over Giannis, Embiid, or Jokic, but you could argue that he deserves it over anyone else. We're saying that he should not be getting more recognition than Giannis, Embiid, and Jokic. That's all we're saying.
Yeah, I understand that, and I don't think that mutes my point because like no one, at least I'm not. I don't think really anyone here is arguing the fact that he deserves more attention, like because he does not deserve more attention than these guys. But like I keep hearing the fact that he is getting more attention than these guys is related to the xenophobia in the NBA, which I'm once again I want to make it clear that I agree that there is xenophobia in the NBA. I feel like that's a problem, but I feel like some of these examples aren't really the best examples of it because like we've seen it historically, like whoever is the most hot player, especially in like the social media era, like who's ever the most hot player, the most like new thing to talk about, the fresh thing that's out, is going to get talked about the most, like regardless of what's going on. Like, you know, outside of guys like with
Trey,
you know
can I ask
LeBron
you a
and Steph,
question?
like these niggas like John's going to get talked about more. So
I
I don't think
think
that's
the best
more so
example.
xenophobic.
I think the best
Oh my.
example.
Yo, what's up?
Okay, Ty, can I ask you guys a question?
Of
Ask a
Yeah,
course.
nigga, just
question,
ask the
nigga.
question,
Oh my
nigga. No one's
god,
talking.
nigga.
All
The
Like,
right,
fuck?
come
all
on.
right.
You the host, nigga. Ask.
So, okay, you're right. I am the host. Guess where you going, nigga? Straight
This
to the
nigga.
fucking
Oh
goo.
my god,
Straight to the
nigga.
fucking goo, bro.
His niggas
Whole
going
ass
crazy,
nigga.
bro. What the fuck?
All right, but the question I was gonna ask though, right, is that
Yo.
even deeper. I think that I was gonna tell first. The question is, don't you
Man, this
think
nigga
that
cut out.
right that even if you did I cut out?
No, you good, you good.
You
I hear
back
you.
now.
I
You're
saw
back
you.
That's
now.
just
You're
that
good.
good.
You're good. You're good.
No, you back now. You back now.
Is
You cut
that
out for like a second.
even if you don't think that the NBA per se is necessarily like they have like these for sure biases, like these clear biases, right? Don't you think that even though like the data supporting Giannis being possibly their cash cow, once LeBron retires, once Curry's up out of here, he's their guy. You got to roll with him. Like them having some of the feelings that you guys are describing, like those feelings of, oh well, but it might be hard because he's not from here, right? If that's not backed up by the data, then that's just an inherent thought that they have, right? That isn't necessarily prescribed or like isn't actually given any legitimate reasoning other than the ones that was already presented.
Yeah,
Isn't that in fact
Eli. As much as I
xenophobia?
love hearing you talk, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna need you to shut up. I want to hear like what Afro and
Damn, Swain, it's just fuck
Swish on.
me.
Yo, shut up, fool. I want to hear what Afro and RVG got to say, bro, because they've been quiet and they haven't gotten a chance to say anything because you keep opening your damn mouth. So I would
Fuck
like for
that
them to
ugly
say
ass
something.
nigga. No offense, Afro.
All right, bro. Do you know who I am?
Chill.
What am I? What am I? Say it. What am I?
Ashton,
No. What am I?
a bitch.
All right, don't answer. It's fine. That's fine. That's completely fine. Anyways, go ahead. I want RVG
Yo,
and
what kind
Afro to
of
say
weird
something.
shit was
So
that, my nigga?
this is what I want to say though, because like I'm Nigerian, right? So I don't think
Oh, that's love. That's love.
yeah,
That's
look,
love.
I'm Nigerian, right? I'm a Nigerian American. So a lot of niggas don't understand what Giannis represents for us. Like when that nigga showed his actual name, his
He's
actual
spinning
fucking
right now.
name, not that Greece shit, that bullshit they tried to do his last name. I get his citizenship, all that shit. But when he showed his actual name, that was pride for us. That was fucking amazing. Then he won the championship. Like our fucking pride went through the fucking roof. And then the media treats it like, all right, this nigga won because of this, that, and the third. Then they use this nigga Emmanuel on TV like a fucking coon, talking about why he doesn't deserve the praise he does. And I was like, nigga, what? But if anything, you got to admit that in America, there's American pride. It's just bias. It is what it is. But I feel like if you're gonna do it with other players, it should be the same way with Giannis too.
Hell,
He's like fucking 27 doing this shit. Defensive Player of the Year, 2-time MVP, a fucking championship with the team that he stayed. Like no one's talking about that shit.
hey Afro, I'll even go a step
I think that's
further.
fatigue though.
You can clearly see America when it comes to basketball. They're so protective of the sport because, like, look at the Olympics.
No,
Look at the
yeah,
Olympics.
yeah,
When America lost to Nigeria in an exhibition, it wasn't
yeah.
even like it
I
was
was
a
fucking
tournament.
excited
An
because I remember
exhibition.
years ago.
It was just a normal exhibition, and they
Yeah,
treated these niggas. First of all, it's an exhibition, and the rules are different, and they're facing some NBA players,
yeah,
and
they're NBA players.
they treated these guys like they were fucking losers, mispronouncing their names and
It's
shit.
disrespectful as shit and stuff. I was like, for what?
The NBA is. How can people not see their xenophobic? And
Yo,
like I said,
Mustard, I completely
Yeah,
forgot about that
that's a
when they
way
were
better
going on
example of
national
xenophobia in my
television. When they
opinion.
were going on
Niggas,
national television,
That is a
niggas was
good
slandering
fucking
example.
I
talking
Nigeria.
remember
this shit.
I remember Shannon Sharp said, him, Jenny, and Skip and the
Whoa, is
cameraman
there
could
another
beat
fucking accident
Nigeria.
up here, bro?
Exactly. I
It's
was
You know
like,
how
always
bro.
accidents.
disrespectful that is? And not only that, I don't think like I think Jaha DeRozan, you can disagree on those examples, even though I think those are good examples, but I think the best example is still Anthony Davis. Anthony
Oh
Davis was
my
not the
god.
best player on that
Let me tell you.
team. He
Let me
wasn't
tell
even
you.
the best player on the team. He was the second best player. And they were
Exactly.
comparing him to Tim Duncan
Because all right, because I'm a
Are you talking
Laker
about
fan.
before or after the season though?
No. This
after
is
the
like
bubble.
Okay,
this is
after the
bubble
bubble, yeah, he
season.
wasn't the best player. But yeah, like I still, yeah, like the AD shit.
And mind you,
I feel like
this
that's
is a
taken
guy.
away.
This is a guy that before he teamed up with LeBron was missing the playoffs for most of his career, getting injured.
No Anthony Davis slander allowed.
Nah, keep it going. Keep the slander going, bro.
No. Okay,
Fuck
hold on.
Scotty
I'm not
Let me be
Barnes.
slandering.
real.
I'm
Let me
not
be real.
slandering him. I'm
Let,
just
let,
saying that he was getting the generational title boost and shit, all of that stuff after the bubble. They didn't even question the ring. They didn't question the ring at the time or anything. Giannis wins, and they're like, man, but the Suns didn't really have size. You know, Saric got hurt, and what's the name? KD, if his foot was just a little bit smaller, that's the shit they were saying.
But
I
then
didn't
they
hear
do
I
that
didn't
with
hear
the
anybody
Warriors and
say
but
shit.
shit
I
too.
didn't hear anybody say anything
but
about, oh well,
Then they do that
if
with the
a
Warriors in
pandemic didn't
2015 though.
happen.
but the problem was though, like, because
They
I'm
were
a
doing
Laker
that.
fan also.
They do that with the Lakers though. They say like if
Yeah,
they
I'm
literally
not gonna
say
lie.
if the
No, but
bubble didn't happen.
you're missing my point. They didn't say
But like,
that at the time. They
no.
were not
So
saying
They
that.
did.
so this is what happened. This is
No,
what
they
happened. So
didn't. No, they
during the
didn't.
bubble,
Bro,
right?
Charles,
So
at least
during
with
the
the Warriors,
bubble,
the Charles Barkley shit, like he literally said, like they can't repeat. That was a fluke. Like if this didn't happen,
Literally,
this player
bro.
didn't get injured. Like that's not a new thing because it's
I feel
Giannis
like at the
Antetokounmpo.
time that was not the narrative. The narrative was that they literally ranked
Literally in
82nd.
literally
They
They
in
ranked
had
the
him
the
second in the
fourth.
summertime,
league.
Charles
They
Barkley
had the
told that
fourth
to
best.
Steph. He said, "I don't think
Which
y'all can."
wasn't a bad take, my
He told
nigga.
that to
Like,
Steph. He told
No,
that
it
to
was.
Steph.
I always
The
thought it
Warriors
was.
had
No,
like the
stop it.
I
fourth
love
best
Giannis,
odds
The
and
Warriors
having
literally
AD
like
was
said
come
that
that
on.
dude.
Steph
80
pretty
was
much
not better
said.
than Giannis that year. I
I
don't
don't
care.
think he was,
Yeah.
but it wasn't a bad take
But
if you
hold up,
ask
No,
Man,
it
me.
we
forget
picking
was.
and
say
It
choosing
was.
when we want to
forget the
when
AD
we want to
shit.
put
Nah,
Forget
numbers
the
stuff.
AD
it
shit.
wasn't.
Forget the AD shit. But like literally in the summer, while Steph was golfing, I remember Charles Barkley interviewed him and said like, "I don't think that y'all can do this again. I think it was a fluke. I don't think a shooting team, a small team like the Warriors, can win the championships.
Yo, this
Like
is
that was the
cool
thing
and
in the
all.
summertime.
Trey,
So
this is
that's
cool
not a
and
new
all. This
thing
is
with
This
cool
is
Steph.
and all.
cool, but
Wait,
they
wait,
didn't
wait,
win until they
wait,
added.
wait.
Never mind.
This is cool and
I'm
all.
not
This
gonna
is
go.
cool and
I'm not
all.
gonna
Bro,
go
they
This is
there.
cool
won
and
in
all. But
2015.
are
This is
we just
after they
gonna
won the
gloss
championship.
over? Are we just gonna gloss
When they
over
added
the?
fucking.
Yo,
Never
no way,
mind. I'm
They
not,
Eli.
won
bro.
after 2015, dude. I'm not talking about 2016 or
You see
2017.
what?
I'm
This
not.
is why I mute everybody because niggas like to speak over people.
Yeah,
I was gonna say like, are we just gonna gloss
Ironic
over the
that you
fact
said, yeah.
that when Afro brought up like the complete disrespect that they put on the Nigerian team and them having NBA players, and then basically not only deliberately not pronouncing our names correctly, but then also saying that Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless could go beat them, and a pregnant Jenny Taft. Like they were saying things like that on
my
national
phone is about to
television.
die.
Stephen A. Smith was out there promoting that the Nigerian team was worse than your average G League team
Yeah,
because they hadn't watched a single game, and they were ridiculing every single NBA player because on that team because they lost in
yeah,
basically a preseason game after not playing in like a month.
exactly. Yeah. So I don't know if you heard me, but I did say that was
No,
when
no,
Musk
not
was
you,
saying
Trey,
that.
not you, not
Yeah,
in this
that
room.
was
Oh,
I
you
wasn't
talking
just
about
talking
nasty.
about
Ty?
you,
You
Trey.
talking
I
about
was
That
talking
was
Ty?
about in
really
general. I was talking
nasty.
about everybody.
Oh,
That was
Talking
really
about everybody.
nasty.
okay,
Nah,
okay.
that
I
that
didn't know if you
specifically
heard me.
was really fucking nasty for sure. Like in that,
And
like
it's
and
crazy
Which
that
is
it took
but
Greg Popovich coming
in
out and
life we
saying Greg Popovich coming out and saying, look, why do y'all keep disrespecting these guys?
exactly.
These are good players. Like
Which
Exactly.
is why when you ask us why do we think that this is related to xenophobia, it's because of examples like that have
hold up,
shown
but
us that they
that
already think
is
these things in the
But
xenophobia.
first place.
that's xenophobia. But what y'all
That
are saying,
But
is
I'm
dude,
saying
xenophobia.
the
that
examples
these
y'all
I'm
are
But then
saying
giving
that
you
the
aren't
things
taking
that
you
xenophobia though.
taking it.
I'm saying the things that they are saying, those things that they said, those are leading me and that's helping me to believe that the other things that are on the, 50-50, I tend to believe that those are xenophobic because of the complete 100% blatant evidence of them being xenophobic. Go ahead.
I feel like a lot,
oh,
but
look at baseball. Look at how they did. Look how Stephen A. said that shit about Shohei Ohtani. I don't even watch
Better
baseball
yet,
like
I
better
don't
that.
watch
yet.
baseball. I
I
don't
don't
watch
even watch
Stephen A. So
baseball like
I don't
that.
know what that
But I'll
nigga
tell you
said.
this: the only time I watched baseball last year was when that nigga was on TV and he said that dumbass shit about him.
Yeah. Oh
No
wait, I think I
troll,
seen
no
Nah,
that
bro,
video,
troll.
I
but
do. That was some
I
If you
stupid
want to
shit,
know,
bro.
if you want to know an example of,
That was some nasty shit. I'm not gonna lie.
if you want to know an example of
Do you think
xenophobia, bro.
Stephen A?
Wait, Ty. If you want to know an example of xenophobia in the NBA, it goes way deeper than just the media, bro. Look at Jeremy Lin's scouting report pre-draft. Niggas
you
tried
said
to
that
call him
earlier.
unathletic, my nigga.
He's
You
sneaky
said that
athletic.
earlier. You said that earlier.
I
They
know, but
call they
Ty
call they
wasn't.
call
Wait, Wait, you said who? Who?
You fucking dumbass nigga. The space went from 100 people to 270 people. So I'm trying to reiterate a fucking point. You know where you going? To the fucking gulag, nigga. Oh, you said that last time. I was talking to a new person.
I'm gonna plug the tweet I made about it
Anyways,
before.
Ty. There were
Who you talking
multiple
about?
This nigga
there
is
were
crazy.
there were multiple NBA scouting reports that had
For
Jeremy Lin
sure,
as,
niggas be racist. Individual niggas be racist for sure. Like that's
but
obviously like
it
true.
wasn't just
And hold on. But
it wasn't just
niggas have
individuals.
their
It was a
biases. Hold
consensus
on,
on him,
hold on.
and you know
Look,
damn well.
I'm keeping it being with you, right? Like Jeremy Lin, like athletic freak, not really, but like he was, hey,
Bro,
solid,
come
whatever,
on, the
cool
nigga's
ball.
quick as fuck.
Hey yo, Jeremy Lin
Hey, that
is
nigga's
more
first
athletic
step.
than me. Hey, he's more athletic than me for sure. But hey, whatever it is, we're
He's
talking
not
about some of the best.
fucking unathletic though.
I'm
Bro,
hey
you sound
hey
like I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. You dead ass sound like white people right now.
They call Tyrese Halliburton non-athletic. Come on, let's not do this. Like,
And
come
they
on.
were
I'm like niggas
I
be
mean, but
wrong, but I'm saying
Tyrese is
that
not.
nigga more
I'm just hold
There
on.
was like
functionally
reports of Jeremy Lin
Listen,
out
listen.
that
playing like
nigga more
John Wall and
functionally
like
Listen,
athletic
all
though,
listen.
that
bro.
shit.
That's
Niggas be
different.
wrong. Number one, niggas be wrong. And number two, yes, I agree that like there are mad instances of especially like media outlets, especially because of the generation that is kind of at the head of a lot of media outlets and a lot of those kind of positions are do kind of espouse a lot of like, oh yeah, like kind of nasty shit, like just being honest. And they probably have like the Euros are soft. Like that was a thing that was like a pretty consensus thing within like NBA scout circles in like 2003. But like I just can't stress enough how far removed from the decision making process for the National Basketball Association that is. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I
The
disagree
other,
with the. I
I
disagree
just
with
want to
the.
say, I just want to say,
Oh yeah, you can take
the
care.
only reason I've been saying nothing because I'm trying to find the numbers where you're saying that like I don't know, bro. I hear what you're saying, which is why I try to be more optimistic on the idea that that there isn't like an underlining xenophobic problem in the NBA. Like I try to
Don't get me
even
wrong. You shouldn't necessarily even be good. Like fuck the NBA, fuck all these capitalist ass niggas. Like that, fuck them all. Like they're trash and shit. Like they do like super nasty like fake shit for yeah, I'm saying the Black History Month shit. It's all nasty, and there's some underlying racist shit. All of it. I'm just saying I don't think that's why the certain guys get a certain amount of NBA
but
or national games.
but
That's
the,
all I'm saying.
reason well it's not we don't have to say naturally. The reason why I say this is because like I'm looking at the numbers even on like I'm on NBA's Instagram, I'm on YouTube and looking at the views like Ja, I'll give credit to Ja. The numbers are pretty impressive from Ja. There's still other players who get better numbers in terms of watch views and likes and shit like that. But I'll give it to Ja. Like the numbers are there, bro. The post with DeRozan is, I mean, there it's not even remotely close to everybody else. Like
Because
not even.
that nigga not even the best on his team. That's
Yeah,
why,
that's what I'm
low.
saying.
What the
I'm not gonna go there. But what I'm saying is
Nah,
that
you spitting on. I'll talk about it.
in terms of views and in terms of the numbers that would push them in a certain direction, bro, DeRozan's numbers are they're not even remotely close. They're not even remotely close.
But who you comparing it to though,
what
low?
the
Literally any DeRozan post in contrast to another player's post, bro, it's a lot of this shit is not even close, bro. It's not even close. And and even when I do that for the views, bro, there's multiple million viewed videos on YouTube from John Morant, multiple million view videos of Giannis. Not as many as for Jokic, should be fair, but when I look at DeRozan, bro, it's not as many either. Like there's no numbers that would point out to. There's just none. There's like a video that they posted 4 days ago. This is when he broke. I think this is when he broke the record. For the what you call it, bro. 118,000 likes. That sounds like a lot. The other game where Cam Thompson did the shit he did, 186,000 likes. You may be thinking to yourself,
Jesus.
hey, that's Cam Thompson, a fucking rookie on a Brooklyn Nets team that none of their stars are
Thomas.
playing.
Cam Thomas. Get his name right. Thank you.
All right, Cam Thomas. if
fuck Cam Thomas.
If you believe, hey, maybe that's just because that's the Knicks, and literally just a few games later, a few days later, Giannis on the Bucks, 610,000 likes, bro. It's the DeRozan. It's not even close with that shit that he doing, bro. And so I don't know the
how
numbers
often
that
is
you're referring
DeRozan
to.
getting? Well, I mean, so really, I don't know that. I wasn't hip to like y'all are informing me about DeRozan getting like all this mad like love and posts and coverage and shit. Like I think the Bulls are a very nice story, and like there's a lot of like old Chicago like guys who are at the heads of like advertising and at the heads of like a lot of the NBA stuff, just because that's just how the industry works. But like I haven't seen a lot of DeRozan shit, frankly. But if that's the case, that is an
Cause
anomaly.
you got Curry Dicky in my.
Oh my
I ain't
god,
gonna
nigga.
lie.
What
You
you
got
got
I'm,
going on,
I'm,
regular.
bro?
I'm looking at DeRozan's post low. I'm looking at DeRozan's
I
post
love you,
low.
Ty. I love you, Ty.
Low was being generous, picking out some of these. Some of these DeRozan's not even cracking
Some of them are
50,000
worse than that.
views.
Some of them are
Hey,
worse than that.
so
Like he
with
not
the
even cracking
money
50,000 views or
with the
something.
money shit that we was talking about earlier,
Yeah, some of that shit's kind of low.
saying that some American players would be more like marketable, I guess. I'll take my L with like I was just doing research and shit. I didn't know that nigga Giannis was like top 2 in jersey sales like the last
Yeah, you
3
ain't know
fucking
that
years.
shit, huh?
And
Um,
ESPN.
Yeah, you ain't know that shit. You know that shit,
Yo,
nigga.
what the
Nigga, let this nigga
You know,
talk.
this
bro,
nigga,
This
nigga.
nigga
stupid.
talking.
I'm
Fuck,
saying,
nigga.
good
This shit got
lord.
jeez
your pants down,
Louise,
bro.
Ho,
dog.
nigga.
Yeah, like
Who
I
the
was
fuck
saying though,
told you,
Giannis.
son?
Okay,
Who the
so
fuck
Giannis,
told you,
Give
I'll
son?
me
say
bears,
this:
bro. Give me
Giannis in
bears.
particular, that nigga's very marketable. The NBA is
Very
kind of
marketable.
dumb for not like. I didn't know he was top 2 like
I thought
last
NBA
year
pushed
and
him
this
though.
year.
Yeah, yeah. Where your
But
mom?
another
Yeah.
I
thing that
thought
I noticed
ESPN
too,
don't push him
since
though.
they start pushing that like face of the NBA shit with Ja, like he wasn't top 10. He was like 15 last year, 14, 15 last year. And then once they started pushing that, he like number 7 now. You feel me? So
Bro,
you kind
there was nothing when Perk and them start pushing that John Morant shit. 10 games into the regular season, there was literally nothing that would push to this idea that John Morant was going to be this player. I'm happy for him, but there was no proof of that. Before somebody else go, again, I'll just read off some of the fucking headlines from ESPN about DeMar DeRozan. Because this is like literally, I'll tell you the days. This is 4 days ago. Considering DeMar DeRozan's case as a serious MVP candidate. 3 days ago, DeMar DeRozan is the best shooting guard right now. 2 days ago, DeMar DeRozan, Stephen A. Smith props up DeMar DeRozan, calls him the most underrated, underappreciated All-Star. 5 days ago, analyzing DeMar DeRozan's jumper and All NBA first team MVP odds. 4 days ago, DeMar DeRozan is Perk's most important player to success in the Eastern Conference. Those are the fucking titles. Those are the titles within a fucking 5-day span.
As the
As
Eastern
opposed to
as the
Giannis.
Finals MVP, the Finals MVP is in the Eastern
weren't they
Conference,
saying
by the
once he
way.
went to the Bulls, that was like the worst fit?
No, that was literally one person on what you call it. That was one person on Bleacher
On
Report.
Bleacher
Most
Report. Yeah.
most of the people on ESPN did not mind the addition at all. Most people viewed that
Bill
as a
Simmons trashed it
positive.
too.
That most of them viewed as a positive. Here, if you type in Giannis, this is what they've
I
done in
thought
the
it was a
last
mid move, but I was
in the
wrong.
last few days about Giannis. Is Giannis or Joel Embiid more likely to make it to the finals? That was 2 days ago. 4 days ago. People forget Giannis's greatness. This is Ramona Shelburne. And then after that, I'm going to keep looking, but that's what all we've. That's it. That's it. That's it. When I find something else that happened in the last week, I'll let you all know. But as far as I see, that's it.
And this is just where
This is on ESPN's YouTube page.
No,
YouTube.
Kizzy.
Okay.
Matter of fact, here let me do it this way.
What's that nigga name? Swish RVG hasn't gotten to talk, but he an Arsenal fan, so I don't really give no fucks.
Um,
Yeah,
Eli,
yes,
soccer
yeah.
Eli.
Speak real quick. Speak real quick, Swish.
Yeah, so I wanted to bring a point up. I think Neptune and Legend of Winning kind of went over it briefly earlier, and that is the NBA draft. You know, I watch the NBA draft every year, but it really interests me, and I bring up three players in particular: Luka, Porzingis, and Giannis. So I'm gonna start with the oldest, being Giannis. When you go back, because I watched that draft as a kid, you know, I remember I loved Giannis because I thought his name was cool, whatever. But that's beside the point. The crew that covered the draft, I can't remember everybody that was on it. They really didn't have much to say about Giannis. This is a guy that was a first round pick. He was obviously a very kind of curious kind of prospect. No one really knew what to expect out of him, but he was someone that had physical kind of traits that were abnormal. He was a physical freak. They said he was going to keep growing, but there was really nothing that was presented that was about his game. Later on in that draft, Shane Larkin and Tim Hardaway Jr. were drafted. Those guys had more coverage within that same draft show or whatever you want to call it during that draft. And that's like a first round pick that went ahead of them. Shane Larkin went 18, Tim Hardaway went 24. So to move on, Porzingis got booed at his draft, right? Number 4. Porzingis was one of the most interesting kind of big man prospects, a guy with multi-dimensional scoring, absurd height and stuff. Yet I feel like he got booed because people didn't know who he was. And that plays in a part is the responsibility of the media. A guy that's going top 5 that's getting booed because he wasn't selected over Justice Winslow. I'm not a big fan of Porzingis, but at the end of the day, it's a 20-10 guy versus Justice Winslow, who's like a rotational role player now. And, you know, even when he got booed at the draft, right? That is what it is. You know, players get booed all the time, or Knicks fans like to boo kind of the picks. But he got selected to an all-star team. I believe it was a couple years after he was drafted, maybe 2 or 3. I feel like that doesn't get like in my mind, Porzingis getting booed at the draft is way more prevalent than him actually making an All-Star team, becoming a guy that we've seen become a 20-8 type of player for his career. And then with Luka, the fact that it was even disputed that, you know, and obviously it wasn't even just disputed, it was a fact that somebody went overall over him, number 1 overall. Luka had literally the greatest pre-draft resume of all time. I mean, he had an MVP, like a Finals MVP or whatever. He was the greatest European thing ever. He was 19 years old, and then there were still people that doubted his game. You know, with Luka, it was like it was such a surefire thing. If you watched his highlights at Real Madrid, and if you watch the type of player he was, that this is a guy that's gonna come into the NBA and really shake it up. He's gonna be one of them dudes. But the fact that he still ended up going number 3 behind Bagley and Aiden, who I'm not gonna disrespect them, they were fantastic college players. But you have a guy with that type of resume at that age that doesn't go number 1, that really says so
I
much about
gotta
him.
kind of gotta
Same
push
thing
back
about
on that. I gotta
LaMelo,
push
though.
Hold
back on
on, hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish. My real point is that the fact that when you go back and watch the NBA drafts as like a show, right? Every year there's a set number of international prospects that go in the first round, and obviously there's a bunch of college prospects. And when it boils down to it, those international prospects, especially the ones that go in the top 10, and maybe they don't pan out, like a John Vesley or fucking Killian Hayes or some shit, they don't
that.
get
Zone,
the
yeah.
same kind of like hype and like coverage and analysis about their game that you see with other college players. And I think that's where the divide begins because it already sets an agenda that this guy, you know, we already know so much about his game. We know his upside, we know his floor. And then with international prospects, you usually find the guys on TV just saying, "Hey, we don't know what we're going to get out of him." And I think that's disgusting. I think that like that in itself is one of the major points that yes, there is xenophobia in the NBA. Like it's so clear to me.
Can I
Yo,
ask a question?
I'll say
Go
this real
ahead.
quick about Luca. Though I did believe Luca should have been the first pick. I actually said that. But the thing is, Aiden did make sense because he's from Arizona, you know? So like he had the hometown boost.
Can I ask a question to everybody? It's kind of like a two-parter, but the first question is, do we think Stephen A. Smith is xenophobic, right? The second question would then be is, do you think that the NBA is at fault or takes blame for not at least addressing his weird comments that he's had over these last couple of years concerning players from different countries?
Don't forget Darko Milicic, Swish.
Yes, he's xenophobic, and I don't think it makes sense from a business perspective for them to cause trouble for one of their biggest partners. Not that they shouldn't, because like, yeah, I mean, sure, I guess call him out for his xenophobia, like, sure, like, but I mean, call everybody out for all their racism and all that other shit for sure, but.
I think the NBA enables it, like by not at least talking to him privately or something. Like, they're definitely not changing the way he's going to cover an international star versus like an American star. And yeah, like you said, he is one of their biggest partners. He reels in a lot of content for his discussions and stuff like that. But you do have to do something about the way he just disregards international players, like the way Jokic. Even if you go back to last year, the whole Chris Paul MVP narrative was so bullshit. Like, Jokic
Mm-hmm.
had that in the bag, and suddenly out of nowhere, as we're going down the season, Chris Paul is like, "Oh well, if you look at the Suns, it's all Chris Paul." Like, what the fuck are we
But
doing?
that's not moving the needle. Chris Paul wasn't a top 3 finisher. Jokic won the
Bro,
MVP.
we're not saying that. We're saying him just getting a narrative push is just weird
No,
because Jokic already had
I
it in the bag.
understand. I understand what he's saying because some of the pockets of people, fair enough, they're not moving the needle. And I'm gonna say this again, bro. I keep looking at these fucking numbers, bro. I just don't see the argument for this nigga DeRozan, bro. And because like I'm even when I look at like not like videos on YouTube that aren't like highlight videos or mixes or anything like that, bro. DeRozan does not have a fucking video this year on anybody's channel outside of fucking Jalen Suggs dunking on this nigga. Then another video he gets into a fight with Mo Wagner, and then a fucking video where him and Popovich have a moment. That's it. Those are the only videos where like he gets a lot of views. But in terms of like actual talking head videos of DeMar DeRozan, bro, no, they don't get that many views. They just don't. So I don't understand. And what's crazy is that's an obvious thing because DeMar DeRozan isn't a new player. Everybody knows who DeRozan is. It isn't like we're breaking news on this new thing that no one isn't aware of. Everybody knows him. He wasn't getting that much coverage or news or pushing the needle that much over in fucking Toronto. Why all of a sudden this nigga in MVP conversations when, especially above other players who clearly deserve it ahead of him? That's all I'm saying. That's odd behavior
I
to
mean,
me.
fuck DeMar DeRozan, I guess. Like, I mean, I don't really know. I just don't think that he gets pushed because of some xenophobia. That's my only thing.
But
I'll say this.
okay, but if you, okay, fair. I would then ask why though? Why are they going? Why are they doing this? Because if the views don't add up for them to do that, if then the him as a player don't add up for they would do that, I would then ask why. Why do it? If the numbers don't add up, if he's not new, if he's not even the they're not even the best they don't have the best record in the conference. So what is the reason?
No, I
I
believe,
mean, DeMar DeRozan has been snapping lately, hasn't he? I feel like that's
but
what it is. Like
he's
he's
yeah,
been
but it's
he's been blacking out in like the last 7 games or some shit like that.
but the
Black.
but
Yes,
the problem is
Luca is
Nah,
averaging
blacking
30.
out is a crazy term,
Yeah,
man.
that's
That's
that's kind of
crazy.
Didn't
wild.
he
Hey, Luca
just
has
I
a
ain't gonna,
good
didn't he
I ain't gonna
just
lie.
franchise
When you
connect
said
tag.
Wilt?
blacking
That's
out, I was
crazy.
like, what do you mean by
I
that?
was gonna escape by that. Luca in the past 10 games is
He's also been
averaging,
wilding.
but they're 35. Luke, this is Luke in the last 10 games.
We not about to
35,
sit here
10,
and
and
say Luca
10.
don't get love, are we?
No, but okay, Luke. All right. So wait, that's Luca in the past 10 games. I'll go see what ESPN's been saying about Luca. I'll go see.
Okay. Hey, mind you, beginning of the season, they had Luca ranked 4 ahead of Steph.
That's
This year,
fair, but
like
if
coming
but
in.
no, but I get that. But if your argument is that the reason why DeRozan is, or at least part of it is, hey man, he's been going crazy, or as you said, he's blacking out. I'll go see. I'll go see what they're saying about Luca because Luca's recently been blacking out.
Yo, okay.
Yeah, I gotta stop saying
Luca,
blacking out. Y'all
no,
gotta
I
stop
just
saying.
that's
Y'all gotta
such a
stop.
Hey, yo,
it's
I ain't
That's
gonna
a
hold you. I ain't
crazy
gonna hold
thing,
you.
dog.
Maybe I'm old. Maybe I'm old. What's the reference?
no. I've heard
Black.
it
Oh
before.
wait. Oh, are
Oh,
we
like
Hey,
oh,
I'll
like
say
black.
this. I'll say
black.
this
Okay,
quickly though about
okay.
Stephen A.
Yeah,
I'll
like
say this
blacking
quickly
out
about
is
Stephen A.
whatever.
I only think that they'll make Stephen A. apologize. We've only seen it. He's only apologized whenever, like, it's like a large section of people have like criticized him, like the Shea Otani thing, the Nigerian players thing. he apologized for those because there was like a
When did he
outcry.
apologize for the Nigerian thing? I don't remember that.
Well, no, he gave like a quick, like when he apologized to Sheo. After that, he was like, "Oh, I also want to apologize for mispronouncing the names incorrectly." And he gave like a quick little side thing after.
Okay.
All right, here's some of the headlines. I see one MVP race, and that was literally just 2 days ago from Richard Jefferson. The other ones, Luka Doncic All-Star snub and the Heat outlasting the Hornets. Did Luka Doncic's potential get unlocked after trading Porzingis? Reacting to Luka Doncic just scoring 51 points. Then it's Luka Doncic tightens up the MVP race. That was 2 days ago. Then it was Maverick still searching for Luka Doncic's co-star. Like that. That's it. That's.
I mean, I don't know. It makes sense to me. Like the Mavs are what, 6th, 5th, and the Bulls are a game or like game and a half out of first. I don't know. I agree with you though. I think Luka deserves mad
Bulls are
love.
tied for
I
first.
do. Oh, Bulls are tied for first.
They have.
I mean, we don't have the
tied for
tiebreaker.
first, so they're like a half a game out. I'm not 100% sure.
No, we don't have the tiebreaker on them. So
yeah, okay. So
Okay,
they're half a
The
game.
Mavs have 3 less wins than the Bulls.
Hey, we can. Hey, and I'm fine with.
Hey, we
Hey,
can talk about that
last
East
year.
versus West stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry. Last year when Curry was going bonkers and they fucking finished 9th, it was still MVP races. Correct?
Mhm.
That's true.
Yep.
For sure. Stephen Curry, I'm not gonna say that, I guess, but like he wilded out
No,
last
but you're
year.
right. Stephen Curry, American. The
Now,
nigga
he was
averaging
blacking out
35.
last year,
The
though.
nigga averaging 35, 10, and 10 for the past 10 games, and they're
Right, hold
winning
on, but
7 out of the last
wait, no.
10 games.
What's he doing for the year? Like, I mean, MVP is for the year, dog. Like they gassed. They're gonna gas Luka. Like I just come on. Like if
No.
we're gonna have
What
the
I'm saying is when
conversation
Curry
about
when Curry
international
was
guys,
going
it can't be Luka.
when Curry was going through that stretch where he was like torching the fuck. He was just straight torching.
Blacking out.
Blacking out. He
We
was
I mean, yeah,
blacking
all
out.
I'm
knew
sorry.
everybody
I'm
had a
sorry. The
different
term is
set.
blacking out. I'm sorry.
He
When
was
he was
blacking
straight
out. That's what he
blacking
was
out.
doing. Thank you. That's what he was doing.
No, yeah, sure. When Curry was straight blacking out, that was enough for them not only to put him in an MVP conversation, but for some people to say that he should have won MVP, and that definitely moved the needle enough because he finished 3rd in the race. So Luka,
and you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy, Lo?
Voters. Hold up.
You know what's crazy, Lo? Even when Steph was doing that, you could argue Giannis kind of got snubbed out of being top 3. If we're being real.
Wait, but even if Luka is in the
Luka this
middle of
year
a
is nowhere near as good as Steph was last year. Or
no,
Jokic
I'm
this year.
not saying it isn't because I'm not expecting Luka to have 8 different fucking thumbnails and titles with an MVP trophy next to him. I'm not expecting that, but I'm expecting more than just one video where Richard Jefferson says, "Ooh, Luka's tighten in the race." I'm expecting more than that. I'm expecting
Okay,
if a man to average 35, 10, and 10 in a 10-game stretch where they're winning 7 out of the 10, I would assume that there'll be more of a conversation being had. Because when anybody else blacks out, it's not one video being made about them in an MVP race. It's not just one.
So as I'm sure you're aware, right? They like the way the clips come about is they take the best segments, not necessarily like all the segments, or like it's just the segments that look most, clippable, sticky, watchable. So I don't know, like, hey, maybe he's not getting enough coverage. I don't know. I feel like Luka Doncic gets more than enough coverage, frankly. Like I don't think
I'm not. But what I'm saying is, what is the coverage?
Anybody.
But what is the coverage though? Is the coverage a MVP
number
push?
4. Yes, they ranked him number 4. Coming
No,
into
I'm
the
talking
season,
about right
he had the
now.
highest odds going. Right now, his team is like they're not a contender, right? Up until like he had been having a somewhat disappointing season by his standards. Like, everybody gets judged on their standards, all this other shit.
So the
Team wasn't winning.
Bulls are having an outstanding season, and the
Hey,
difference between
yes,
them and the Mavericks.
absolutely.
So
No,
the
but we're going.
Stop. So the difference between an outstanding season and a disappointing season, the difference from being title contenders to not being title contenders.
They're not playing the same teams. Let's not pretend that the West sucks this year. Like it is what it is. Everybody's hurt. Like it is
Hey,
what it is.
if Luca having a disappointing season, get that nigga on my Rockets tonight.
Right. It's the same. It's the same reason that I thought that I feel like the same reason I feel like the Steph like can't shouldn't be first team All NBA or shouldn't be in the MVP conversation. I think all of that's wild because when you look
But
at
the
it, it's
thing
like
that's crazy to
Wait,
me is
what?
that
Wait,
Luca.
wait, wait, but what you're saying is, we keep going in circles because you keep saying they're having a disappointing season. But last year Curry missed the playoffs, and people were still saying he should be MVP
well,
again.
so
It,
MVP is a regular season award, and when he
Okay,
they
eighth
finished.
seed,
Hold up,
Wait,
but
eighth
also,
he
seed.
I'm about to
wait,
right.
say,
Hold up,
even
hold
if you just
up.
want to say
He
he was the
finished with
eighth
the eighth
seed,
seed, and hold up, he right like at the let's look at the like I feel like he got like less than 20 first place votes. Like he got mad like second and third place votes, but no like he there were give me a second. I'm gonna look up the ballots, but I'd be willing to bet that less than 10 people like of the ballots like voted Stephen Curry for #1 MVP. Like
bro.
he got in the conversation because he was wilding. Steph Curry was
Okay,
doing
and what
more
I'm
last
saying
year.
is, and
But
what
he
I'm
was
saying
a
is,
loser.
wait,
oh,
also, wait,
and
someone.
what I'm saying is, Luca right now is wilding to the
For
tune
the
of
last
30
for the last
to the
7 games,
tune of
sure.
35, 10, and 10 in the last 10 games. He's
Right,
going
that's a 10
crazy.
game stretch.
Also, wait,
10
someone.
game stretch.
Okay,
That's like
all right,
12% of the season.
and that's fair. DeRozan gets to get made an MVP after a 7-game stretch, but you're killing me for a
No,
10-game
no.
stretch.
DeRozan,
Fine, fine,
DeRozan,
You
fine,
know,
fine.
you
no.
know what's
Doesn't
crazy. You know,
DeRozan
the
have the
thing that
best
gets
like
me, the
fourth
thing that gets
quarter
me with this
numbers in the
DeRozan
league?
shit.
It's been
The
an
thing,
all year thing. Wait, hold up. With the
go ahead.
caveat that I don't think DeRozan should be an MVP candidate. I just think it's not as crazy that people are gonna like that. The talking heads are gonna strike up debates about DeRozan like and put him in spaces he shouldn't be like because they know they're gonna you know
My thing with
it's
DeRozan
what it
is,
is.
But they
bro,
are. But I'm
DeRozan,
just letting you know
DeRozan
they
ain't
are
even been
though.
the best
They
player
are
on this
though.
team,
They
bro.
are.
The
He's
thing about
not.
the
Zach Levine.
Agreed.
wait,
It's Levine.
someone brought up the strength of schedule stuff. The Bulls literally have the worst strength of schedule in the league, like statistically. They're 30th.
Exactly. This whole stretch that
But
DeRozan been on, he been beating some shitty team. Nobody even
Shitty,
talking
but
shitty
about it.
wait,
teams,
not even that though.
shitty
But
teams. But I
like
wasn't going to say it.
Like,
But
like
he's
I'm
been
not
getting
also
like
shitty.
look.
wait,
Here it is.
but
Here it is.
the health of the roster
Everybody,
though.
everybody
The
out there
health of the
that wants
roster.
to know, because it's so it's. I don't want to hate. I'm a Bulls fan, by the way, but the way people just start slobbing over DeRozan's dick is so crazy to me.
It's
Look at the
ridiculous.
teams. Look at the teams that DeRozan has faced in the last 7 or so games. The Pacers, the
Trash.
Sixers.
Trash.
I'll give him the Sixers. Sixers cool. He faced Phoenix. Give him that. Even though in the second half, he was kind of whatever. Hornets, worst defense in the
Trash.
league.
The Bulls
Minnesota,
are a fake contender. Like
Trash.
they ain't real.
OKC,
Trash.
San Antonio,
The
Trash.
Bulls agreed.
Sacramento.
Like this shit's
Von trash.
Orlando,
ridiculous.
Portland.
Hold up, but
Fuck
we
the
Like
all
Sacramento.
Wait. Before anything like gets too out of hand, I do want to let Nate speak because he's been in here for like 40 minutes and he actually hasn't said anything. And then Obi as well, because they actually haven't said anything. So I appreciate if you guys would let them talk. All right, go ahead, Nate, and then Obi, you can go next.
Obi can go before me. I'm looking for something real
Oh,
quick.
all right, Obi, you can go real quick.
All right, so look, my problem with the dude who was arguing is that, like, bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro, you just flip flopping with your arguments, bro. One day you want to argue that it's preseason and it's like in the beginning of the season, but then you want to say it's the whole season, but then you want to say, like, I don't know, bro, you just kind of flip flopping with your argument and you're like nitpicking, bro. It's just xenophobia, bro. Like, they pulled up the stats and the data. They pull up the stats that like Giannis is hella marketable, but like DeMar DeRozan is beating up like bad teams. Like, I don't know, bro. It's just xenophobia. There's nothing behind it. I don't know why you dick riding the NBA right now, bro. Like, how much they paying you, bro?
Oh wait, and let me go a step further. We talking about disappointed seasons. The fucking Dallas Mavericks, 35-24. It's mad disappointing. Philadelphia 76ers, 35-23. It's a half a game.
I
It's
was gonna
it's
say that.
it's not what you think it is, bro. That man Luka is in the middle of a stretch and he's having basically the same level of success team wise as fucking as Embiid is. What the fuck
So
are we talking about?
can I defend myself right fast?
Not
Not
only
for
that,
saying
I
I'm
don't.
dick
How
riding this shit.
disappointing are the
That's
Mavs? They're
crazy.
literally at the spot we all
I
thought
ain't,
they'd be.
no.
They are.
Luca up until up until this last stretch, Luca was having a disappointing season. The Mavericks fans would tell you that up until this last stretch, Luca was having a disappointing season. Now, once
Because he
again,
wasn't playing.
not defending the NBA. Hey, NBA can eat a dick, all of that shit, whatever. All this is fine. I'm just speaking towards. I don't think that the reason DeMar, like, I don't know why DeMar DeRozan getting, well, outside of the fact that he did the Wilt shit and he had
For
the King of
sure.
the Fourth shit, right? Outside of that, like,
Why is
I
no
don't.
one talking about the fact that the Bulls have a depleted roster and he's also like doing that
Everybody
on
got a
top of him
depleted
doing that
roster.
though?
Steph ain't
But no,
been healthy.
like
His
they're
roster ain't been healthy
missing.
all year.
They're similar to the Nets, how they're missing like key rotational guys, which I believe does play a factor in him getting the MVP
But it's
like
hold on,
votes
but it's mad
consideration.
guys. But it's mad teams with that missing though.
But
The
it's not
Nets,
mad.
the
It's not mad
Warriors,
You want to
players
know
on
why?
those
You want to know
teams that.
why? Let me tell you
It's
why.
not
Let me
mad
tell you
Nuggets,
why.
players on those
Let
the
me
teams that
tell
Clippers.
you
are
why.
You know,
still
when
doing
Tell
what
you
when are we gonna
why.
talk
Jamal's
about the
doing as
Pascal
well.
Tell you
Siakam
why. As a
MVP
Bulls
talks?
fan, let me tell you why. Because Vucevic over his last couple games also averaging like 25 and 12. He's also
No, Vuce been going crazy. Yeah,
Kobe
Vuce
not
been
White,
going
Kobe
crazy for
White,
us.
Kobe White
Kobe
has
White.
also had multiple
Niggas
games.
acting like the rest of the Bulls roster ass. They got a solid team even despite these
For
injuries.
sure, for sure. No, for sure.
For
Io
Like
be
sure.
sure.
I
Io be
the
sure. They
mustard,
have one of
mustard.
the
I
best
stay in
role
Paul,
players in the
Paul,
mustard.
league.
I
same
live
with
in
the
Chicago. I
Nuggets.
keep up with the
Paul.
Bulls. But what I'm saying is like the reason why DeMar is going to get that attention. And I want to reiterate because I said this earlier that I don't agree with him being in the MVP conversation.
I
But
agree.
you know what I'm saying? Like we like Bulls. We are missing a lot of guys, so that's going to play into the fact. And he is having a really historic stretch of scoring and efficiency, regardless of the schedule. You know, we do have an easy schedule, but
Oh, Trey,
still,
you a
like
Bulls fan?
I'm from Chicago, so yeah,
Oh, dead ass? Me too.
yeah, I
That's
know.
what's up.
I told you that earlier.
Nigga, if
Oh,
y'all
that's what's
stop
up.
trying to have this fucking Chicago connection,
But no, like real talk, like that does factor into why he's getting the MVP like that MVP nod. Like that's why he's in that
Yeah,
conversation
just
because
and
saying
Trey,
that
and
narrative.
Trey,
That
what
LeBron's
narrative
the
you're,
is
guy.
forced. That
Roy,
narrative is
and
forced.
For
what you're
sure, for
saying
sure, for sure,
is
of course.
definitely forced. What you're saying is it's a fair assessment. I still feel like if I'm Luca, I if I have to, because my last game I just beat the fucking Pelicans, and on my fucking roster I'm sharing the court with fucking Dorian Finney-Smith, Jalen Green, and Josh Green. You're still sharing the court with fucking Vucevic and Kobe White, who in y'all last game, Kobe White put up 31 and Vucevic put up 21. So even with a depleted roster, the team is still talented enough to where it's still better than whatever Luka got going on out there. But this is, and again, I don't want to make it seem, I know what y'all are saying. That's fair. We all agreeing that DeMar shouldn't really be gassed like this. But since he is, why not gas Luka? That's all I'm
But
saying.
he's not.
Yeah.
Look at the MVP straw poll vote that just happened. The most recent one that's right before the stretch where DeMar went off, and right before the stretch where Luka went off.
Where's it? Where
DeMar
on
is seventh
NBA.com? Where's
on
that?
no, the straw poll that Bontemps does on
Oh, okay,
ESPN,
okay.
where they take 100 likely voters, and DeMar, he was seventh, got 0 first place votes, got 1 second and 1 third. He got 33 out of 100 total possible votes. He only was on 33 ballots, and the only guys like below him all had less than 10. So below DeMar was Durant, Doncic, Booker, Butler, right? And all of those guys got 5 or less votes. So of the guys who were even like, I guess let's consider him whatever, he was the lowest. Like it was number 1 was Embiid, then Jokic, then it was a mean gap, then it was Giannis, then a mean gap again, then Steph, Chris Paul, John Morant, and DeMar. The
Yeah, it was
total
a good guy.
points.
Wait, hold on. To just ask a question, like, okay, if that's the case, right? Then like, why is it that like all of a sudden he goes on this stretch and now he's over guys like now he's in the top 5 and he's being gassed this high over like Luca, who's having a similar stretch when they're
But
having like
Luca not getting no burn, no way. Like it's I don't think he's like DeMar's getting gassed because he's having a good stretch, but like that's just really it. He's having a good stretch. Like
Why
But
does
to,
Luka get
once he
gassed?
cools
Why does
off,
Luka get gassed?
but this is what
Luca has been getting gassed. If you're asking
That's
why he's
just
not
not
getting
true.
gassed as much as DeMar DeRozan, frankly, I don't know. Like it might, maybe it's the fucking
Man, you
whatever
keep
y'all
saying
talking
I
about.
don't know
He
when
but
you're
very
yeah,
you
I
like
know,
you
I know, I
Whoa,
know.
know,
whoa,
I know.
whoa,
He
whoa,
don't,
Giannis,
he
whoa,
don't
I
want
ain't
to.
gonna lie, bro.
whoa.
Look,
What
I'm
you,
have
what
allowed.
he's
I'm
you
allowed
saying?
to
have
say.
argument.
Wait,
I
I'm
don't know
I
if
don't
personally
you
know,
just
bro.
you
saying.
have
You
like
Yeah,
can't keep saying I don't know, bro. You
I
know at
it's
just
a
some
pretty
gave
point you
clear
know.
credence.
it's a
No, I
pretty
just
clear
gave
reason. I'm
credence.
not gonna
I
say it's
just gave credence to y'all
pretty
argument that
pretty.
it might be xenophobic or because he's
It's not even
white and fat
xenophobic.
and play like Harden. Like whatever. Maybe that's it. But I don't personally think like
But
I don't think DeMar's
Bro,
getting
let me
it's
say
mad
the
love.
this.
the fact
Let
that the
me
guy
let me let me say this real
scheduling,
quick, because
injuries, all that.
the point you're making about the MVP point, the MVP vote is the reason why I'm hesitant to commit to that level. Like to the point where, Brady, I got the fucking clips ready to go for me to make a second channel video talking about some of the wild shit that some of the people have said. So what you're saying is true, because like at the end of the day, even with all the noise being made, when the MVP votes are coming, when it's come down the pipeline for the MVP votes, I still think the top three is going to be Jokic, Giannis, and Embiid in whatever order. And I actually think Curry probably will still be fourth in that race, right? So I think even with the noise of Ja and DeRozan, I think majority of voters, because some of the people that we're kind of some of our complaints stem from, luckily they're not voters, because I think Stephen A. Smith just became a voter, but people like Nick Wright, he's not a voter. Kendrick Perkins is not a voter. Skip Bayless and them, they're not
Yeah,
voters.
Kendrick can't be a voter. He's a player, so he can't be a voter.
So people like that, fair. The people who vote for it still have a level enough mind to where they're going to still vote for who they want to vote for. The problem with that though is that a lot of those people who are voting, even though they may vote intelligently, they don't have a loud enough voice. The only people that I really see who vote consistently and who also have a loud voice in the media, I think, is Chris Broussard, Zach Lowe, and Bill Simmons. I think that's really it. Everybody
Rachel
else,
Nichols too. She used to be happy.
Hold up.
I
Also,
don't. You know what's crazy? I don't know if she's still
I
what you
don't
call
think
it.
she. I don't know if she does
Yeah,
either.
I don't think
Oh
No,
she's
no,
she
no,
still.
I was
doesn't
talking about
work.
the
She doesn't
past.
work for
I don't know what she's
Oh,
ESPN.
doing
okay.
now.
In
She
the
doesn't work
past,
for
in the past,
ESPN. She
yeah.
doesn't work for ESPN.
So
She
Fuck
doesn't work.
that
so yeah,
Yakubian
that's
she
true.
devil bitch.
So
Uh,
so
uh,
that so the point I'm making though is that what you're saying is true. Like the people who vote for the MVP, they are still level-headed enough to where they make the correct decisions. However, the people who are loud in the media, those people, though they don't have the MVP vote, they still say things about players that is odd to me. It's just odd. Like even go back to see how there's a video about how Kenny, Charles, and Shaq were talking about the top three players in the NBA. All three of them threw in Ja Morant, and they threw in Ja Morant like definitively over Jokic, and they just did it like casually. Oh yeah, Ja Morant's there. Ja's in there. We should probably think about DeRozan. I was like, no Jokic. So that's my point. The people who are intelligent enough to vote, yes, they normally do it right. However, those people aren't loud in the space. And then even when they are loud in the space, like Zach Lowe was a few months ago, Perkins and Richard Jefferson is just hounding this nigga down for saying something that everybody also agrees with.
I think it's
So
because you're
Hey, not
mixing the
only did they
jobs.
agree with it, but he had to like when they were having that convo, they didn't mention Jokic. Like the convo was KD and Steph. He had to
But
bring up Jokic on his own when the
yeah.
yeah,
convo was
but
over.
you got
Did
to remember the
who
people who
said
are voting.
that DeRozan was top five MVP vote? I heard that. I don't know who said that. But did anyone say that?
I don't think nobody
I'm not
said it because
tweaking.
it's not true. But I'm just
Yeah,
saying like
I'm about to say because
the
that nigga 9 right now, and Luca's number
yeah
6. So Luca is
right.
getting more attention than that nigga in terms of MVP race and shit like that.
I'm
Cause
just saying. Yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
my fault. Yeah, I was just saying Demar. Like the ranking right now is Jokic at 1, Embiid at 2, Giannis at
where you
3.
look? I'm sorry to cut you off, but where are you looking at? Because I'm looking at
I'm looking on the NBA site. This is the
NBA.
last updated NBA
All right,
MVP
cool.
ladder from February 11th, and right
All
now
right, bet.
Jokic at 1, Embiid at 2, Giannis at 3, Chris Paul at 4, which I think is crazy. 5 is Steph, and then from there is Ja 6, and Ja and Luca are tied, but Ja 6, Luca 7th, then 8th is D Book, 9 DeMar, and then Jimmy. If
My whole
anyone's
point
getting more gas, is Ja. To be honest.
My whole point is that the jobs of the people who are voting for MVP or voting for All NBA, right? Their jobs are at the end of the season to take a measured look at everything that happened during the season and weigh a bunch of factors that comes to their mind and pick who they think is the best guy for who's the most deserving for MVP. The talking heads, their job is to say some inflammatory shit or not even inflammatory shit, say things or do things that get the most views so that they can sell ads. That's their job. So it's just two different. I don't think it's
But
necessarily
we
a
pointed
better
out
or it's
that
just two different
DeRozan,
jobs.
but DeRozan doesn't get the most views. We've done that already.
In the specific vein of the YouTube stuff, like I concur. Like I can only concur with your data you're telling me. Like sure, I think that's a fairly small sample size, and I don't really know. Like a lot of what I'm saying comes from I just believe that the way decisions are made is much less.
Okay, but they're not, but you keep ignoring the fact that like DeRozan doesn't follow that criteria that you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know what vein that there's a possibility where DeRozan would just pull a noticeable number for them to go on that
Especially
list.
at
Like I
this point
can't,
in his
like
career.
yeah,
It's
at
not
this point in his
numbers, nigga.
career, I
Wait,
can't think of
DeRozan
one.
just went off
Your argument
recently.
about the numbers with DeMar is not why he's getting.
It's a bad one. I
Yeah,
can give you.
it's
I'll
not
give
why
you
he's getting
Ja.
that attention though.
I feel
I'll
like
give you Ja.
DeMar
I
wasn't
give you
getting
Ja.
that much love. I feel like DeMar, like when the Bulls started off crazy, DeMar was getting love, just like Zach was getting love, and DeMar was shooting like dumb
Nah, he
percentages
was
from the
getting
mid
more love.
range.
He was getting more love. He was getting
Right,
more
no,
love.
but because DeMar was shooting like dumb percentages, he was shooting like 57% from the mid range for a minute, right? He was
For
going
sure.
off, like right, and he had like a little bit of MVP buzz. It was the fake stuff just to get the season started, right? Back when it was like, oh yeah, it looks like it's gonna be Steph, and then everybody else is just gonna be fighting for second. But shit changes, shit like continues, and DeMar kind of fell off. Niggas weren't necessarily talking about it because he got his ass beat by the Warriors, he got his ass beat by the Nets, they got his ass beat by the Suns, and it was like, oh
They
yeah,
didn't lose to the
they're
Nets
fake
that week.
contenders. They
What are
beat
we
the
talking
Nets.
about?
I'm sorry. They beat
They
the
beat the
Nets.
Nets.
They
And
beat the
DeMar
Nets.
had a good game that game.
And DeMar had a good game.
Yeah.
But they got smacked by two. But that was when we thought the Nets were frauds because the Nets were getting smacked by contenders too.
The Nets
So it
were
was
the number
like,
1 seed at that point.
huh?
The Nets were the 1 seed at that point. There were like
Right, but they
after
hadn't.
before
Right,
that
but
game, they were
remember,
the 1 seed. Then
Yeah, but to be fair,
the
Trey, they were
the
always getting
Nets
smacked by
hadn't.
all the
Yeah,
good teams.
yeah.
No,
The Nets hadn't
you
beat
talking about
they,
that? My
at
fault.
that point. Yeah, they hadn't beat a team that was in the top 10 at that point, or that was over. Like yeah, but he fell off. He wasn't getting buzz. He wasn't getting love. And then like recently, right when he went dumb again because he kind of had a little bit of that like, oh shit, he's the surprise guy that everybody kind of shitted on. And then now he's going on a run. Now he's getting a little bit more love. But once again, I just don't. Over the course of the season, I don't think DeMar is in the top 5, 6, 7 most talked about players.
Well, in the MVP race, I'm kind of going back right now because if you go back to certain time periods, DeRozan has been rather consistently top 5, top 6. There's certain weeks where he drops out of it. But also the one on the I'm not
I mean,
to
he was
like
called a top 5 player literally like just a couple of days ago.
yeah.
By niggas on mainstream media.
I'm not gonna poo poo on the source of the NBA thing, but that's if I'm not mistaken, I think there's just one person kind of writing the article on a week to week basis. I'm gonna this Tim, what's his name? What's the last name? Tim
Bontemps.
Bontemps. Yeah, I'm gonna watch what that looks like. Well, no, this is only quarterly, so I think there's only one more after this one actually.
Right. Ayo, I'm gonna bring up that first joint, right? So he's done 2, right? So the first straw poll, right? In order, it was Steph, Durant, Giannis, Jokic, Chris Paul, then DeMar DeRozan, right? However, when we're looking at it, the total points, Steph was at 978, then mean jump to Kevin Durant at 610, mean jump to Giannis at 471, mean jump to Jokic at 256, mean jump to Chris Paul at 160. DeRozan was at 61. Like he got 2 third place votes, 11 fourth place votes. Like he was never getting love like that from the people who were
Who
realistically
actually
thinking.
vote? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And even the people who voted, who would say it in the but it's like they didn't believe what they were saying. Like they weren't about to. Yo, if Stephen A. got a vote, I promise you, on everything I love, this nigga DeMar DeRozan is not on this nigga's ballot at the end of the year. No matter how
I
many
don't know.
times.
I don't know.
Say that shit.
Let me go back to see Stephen A. Smith's Because I think last year he had a vote. I could be wrong.
I think Stephen A. Smith does have a vote because I remember he was talking about like how we media members like or how we vote for MVP. He was saying some shit like that. So I think he does have a vote.
That nigga got a vote.
Yeah, I
Frankly,
think
Stephen A. Smith deserves a vote. Like what?
he does not deserve a vote.
I mean, if you take the things that he says on television as like
Yeah,
his
like
true
let's not get it
opinions,
twisted. He
then
certainly is a. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the word, but he certainly is a lot
Whoa,
of
don't
stuff.
say it.
Someone who like Stephen
He's
A.
someone who favors a lot of white people. Let me just say that, you know,
oh,
and he does
are we implying
say and do a
Stephen
lot
A.
of
is
Okay,
a
things.
look.
coon?
We don't gotta go down. We don't gotta go
We don't
down
have
that
to go
road.
Yeah, we
down
don't
that
have to go
road.
to. I'm
But
just saying
the
But
he's
thing
he
with
super
deserves a
Stephen A.
vote.
sketchy, but he
Stephen A.
deserves a vote. He
I think
deserves a vote.
Stephen A. I think Stephen A. has paid his dues enough to where he deserves a vote. It's not like he's Nick Wright. He's just like biased for one player so much. You know what I'm saying?
You just
So
got to remember these guys are take artists, man. Their point is to just have takes and have their takes get hot. Like that's the point. Like they don't. Some of them niggas don't believe half
I know
of that shit.
Skip Bayless will never get a vote. That's just never gonna happen.
LeBron
Right?
would never get.
He's not a basketball like
LeBron would
George
never get
or
a single vote from Skip.
Well, I mean, but Skip's not a real person. Like Skip's a meme. That's what I'm saying. Like
Skip's
these
not a
niggas
real
aren't
person
even
is the wildest thing I heard.
like I'm
That
saying.
nigga
He's
said he's not real.
Stephen,
this
if
nigga
that's
is
the case,
a
Stephen A.
walking
not real
meme, bro.
then.
Hey, Skip is a generational
Exactly.
talent, bro.
Stephen A.
Generational
doesn't
talent.
believe half the shit he
Generational
be
hater, bro.
saying, bro.
But
I'm
like,
gonna try to find the MVP votes of last year because